you reign!
This is the D-Generation Clix podcast with your hosts,
Who is Ravage?
Ryan Ruttman,
Ravage!
Hand me that bottle cap.
Miles Kane,
Hand me that paperclip. Grab that twine. Gun wrapper.
Daniel Schwab,
We
best friends, Asgard to Mouth, and Pete.
Cause I'm just me.
Welcome back to the D-Generation Clix podcast. I'm your host, Ryan, and with me, as always, are Miles, Dan, and Pete. Miles, what's good with you?
Exhausted. I'm starting my 10-hour days roofing, so my body still hasn't been acclimated, but I'm here and making good money, so I can't complain.
That's good. Yeah, work is tough.
Shrug. It's not tough. It just, sucks.
Dan, you just had 3 days of clicks in a row. Could you have done a fourth day?
Is this not day 4?
I guess this can count.
Then yes, I guess I can. But I probably would have, to be fair, but I'd still be tired just like I am today. So
Yeah, it takes quite a few days to be burnt out, I would say. Pete, you did not have 3 clicks days in a row. Might we see you again soon?
Man, I hope so. I had a great time at the monthly, and we're going to get into the monthly. And it wasn't ideal for me, but I spent the back half of my monthly day doing what I always do. I got in the lab with the mayor, made some clicks purchases to make myself feel better. And they're all going to be here this week, so I'm pretty excited for mail days.
Oh, that's right. You didn't even share what they were.
I'll never tell.
a lady never tells, you know?
I'm guessing one of them is that Superman.
What? Superman?
Okay.
Some of it's the law firm of Marco and Marco. I'm looking at new modern teams. And some of those, so we're going to get to the set review, and some of those are spicy.
All right, lots of clicks. Our monthly championship was Saturday. We had a Win-A-Mat planned on Monday for a while, so since Smash and Destroy kind of got pushed up, our only option for pre-release was Sunday, so we ran with that. And I will say Smash and Destroy is a very fun set to play, so pre-release was fun, and we got our release day event next week, so yeah, it's been good. All right, how about some news? Clix Camp is returning to the Pacific Northwest. Miles, do you want to clue us in on what's going on with that?
Yes, so Clix Camp is something that Gongai Games and the Eagles used to run a few years ago, and with Gongai Games no longer running it, we need a big event for the Pacific Northwest, and Matt Zielinski is amazing enough to be able to get us a nice private camping site on a nice big chunk of property to play Clix, so barbecuing and all that stuff. So we figured it's perfect time. We're limiting it this year because me and Matt are funding it, essentially, so we're limiting it to just 12 teams for the 3v3 sealed. And if we get enough people, then obviously it can grow. But setting a certain number just for my wallet's sake is a good start. It's going to be Friday the 18th until the 20th of July out there in the outside of Silverton. We currently have a HC Units event details, which I will go ahead and share onto our Facebook page. It's going to be registration's going to be starting at 10 a.m. and the start time is going to be 12. It's going to be 12 teams, 3v3. We're still working on the pricing. And obviously the brick right now, we're hoping, depending on when Lantern Legacy comes out, maybe it's going to be Lantern Legacy. If not, then it's going to be most likely Smash and Destroy. We're going to have BRs on the side as well. And then we're going to have a modern event on Saturday. And then we're potentially thinking of maybe running the last Clix League West event there just for Event 5. just so we can try and get as many people as we can to play Modern. So yeah, it's gonna be a fun time. It's gonna be just camping, clixing. So if you want to come out, it's free to camp. So
Sweet.
yeah, once we get all pricing and everything figured out more, then even more details will come out. But right now, yeah, we have a time, we have a day. We're just working on pricing.
And rumor has it there might be a few Eagles coming out of retirement to join it.
Yeah, they used to all be golden eagles, but apparently one of them's become a bald eagle because he hasn't been playing clix in so long. So we'll see if he makes an appearance.
Oh yeah, and we're gonna try to get out there.
You're the bald eagle.
I'm gonna try to get out there. I think I'm gonna try to get Oliver to come with me. And Pete, I know you were talking about maybe making this happen.
Yeah, I'm gonna try, with the caveat that Pete's trying to change a little bit of his employment obligations. So that unfortunately falls right into the last time where I'm going to be really, really super busy. So we will see. I'm in negotiations with a partner of mine to cover my butt. So hopefully.
All right, cool. Miles, is there anything that you wanted to add on the back end of that?
No, it's going to be a great time, getting just straight sealed. So that way, if you're traveling, you're even not interested in like bringing Modern or anything, there's going to be the team sealed event as well as BRs on the side as well. So all you need to really do is bring dice. And if you don't bring dice, I have the pop dice ready. So it's going to be fun times.
Did you say the dates on it?
Yeah, it's going to be July 18th through the 20th.
Okay, cool. All right, then that'll bring us to the Bookwood Report.
Bookwood Report!
Hello, friends. It's time for the People segment, the Bookwood Report. And Bookwood had himself a little bit of a week this week. He started off the week with the Captain America LE Wakanda Forever op kit. Then he let me know that he picked up Grand Prize APOC and Green Scar Legacy piece. Then he got himself a first appearance of the X-Men Iconics and Super Rare Constrictor. I'm assuming that was in sealed. Then Bookwood finished off his sealed by buying one man's Magneto chase, Daniel, and he comments.
I hooked it up for him. He really was excited for that piece, and I was like, hey, look at that. I pulled something that he wants. Here you go.
And then our favorite local tryhard told me that Constrictor's a menace. Then he got himself a Juggernaut Legacy card, Hercules Legacy card that he traded from our local judge Jeremy for the Juggernaut Legacy card. So he got the Legacy card and then traded it. I think that was a poor choice because I like that Juggernaut a lot. Super Rare Cinder that got traded to Dan for Wonder Don. So Dan, you were a big part of the Bookwood Report this week. Did any of you guys play our favorite local tryhard?
Well, we'll get into Saturday, where he actually did follow through and make it to the monthly. And then Sunday at the pre-release, I think he was sitting next to me a couple times, but we did not play. And then he did not make it on Monday. All right, well, this episode, we wanted to get info out and start ramping up for Origins in Columbus, Ohio, which is Wednesday, June 18th through Sunday, June 22nd. You do need to buy the $60 badge if you're going to go any of the days. That $60 badge covers the whole weekend. There's no HeroClix events on Wednesday, but Thursday through Saturday has Learn to Plays, Battle Royales, Premium Battle Royales, which have a retail chase booster opened and the contents added to the prize pool, supercharged sealeds, and 3-round 16-person modern events. And then Thursday's main event, in addition to all that, is a 48-person Silver Origins Championship that cuts to top 8. Pete, do you want to go over the prizing for the Silver events?
I do. 400 points. Silver Age Swish Pairing Top Cut Playoff. Entry fee is $34. Start times, as Redmond mentioned, was on Thursday, the 19th. It's from 10 to 8 p.m., and time is approximate. There will be a 1-hour lunch break, though. It's in the WizKids area of the event. Top cut after Swiss rounds determined by the amount of participants. Top 8 players in the standings will form a single elimination playoff bracket to determine the winner. There's a bunch of stuff on WizKids' site about resources, Silver Age, map list, Silver Age format information, so it should be laid out for anybody who wants to participate. Prizing, that's what we love. Participation, DC HeroClix Jokerfish, very cool. Top 16 gets a Parademon to go with their Jokerfish. Top 8 gets all of that. Then it also gets a Zombie Scarlet Witch, a Daredevil and Elektra, a Dabbing Forbush Man, who I love, Puck, DC's Black Adam, and Mantis, and then Marvel HeroClix Marvel HeroClix Marvel Studios Next Phase Retail Chase Booster. Top 4 gets all of that, and the top 8 prizing, and the top 16 prizing, and the participation prizing. And then they throw in a Kanto, a Zombie Unicorn, a Zombie Shark, a Marvel HeroClix Spider-Verse Retail Chase Booster. The top 2 gets all the aforementioned prizing, and they get a Marvel HeroClix Smash and Destroy Retail Chase Booster. And the champion will get a DC HeroClix Notorious Factory Set.
That is a pretty good start there. And then Friday is the Chase Booster Team Sealed, which is your standard Team Sealed event, but every team also gets a Chase Booster to build with. There's 32 spots with that, and then they cut to top 4 after 4 or 5 rounds, depending on the attendance. Dan, do you want to go over the prizing for Friday's big event?
So the Chase Booster Sealed Championship entry fee is $242 per team. It is 9:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. approximate end time. So the format is played in teams of 3. So you do the ABC player, and then it looks like each team receives a brick of Smash and Destroy, and then a Deadpool Weapon X Chase Booster, and then you build 3 300-point teams, and it is number of rounds of Swiss based on attendance, and then top 8 teams in the standing will go into single elimination. And then the prizing structure is as follows. Participation is a Jokerfish. Top 8 gets a Zombie Scarlet Witch, a Daredevil and Elektra, a Puck, and a Deceased Black Adam. Top 4 gets all of top 8 prizing plus a Forbush Man, a Mantis, the Zombie Unicorn, a Zombie Shark, and a Marvel Next Phase Chase Booster. And then top 2 gets all of that, in addition to a Black Panther Retail Chase Booster and a Spider-Verse Chase Booster. And then champion gets a Smash and Destroy Retail Chase Booster. So tons of Chase Boosters in total.
Yeah, it's looking really good. Then we have Saturday, which this is your national championship. So this is the first year it's at Origins now instead of Gen Con. And then this one is the 300 Modern with 128 spots. Dan, do you want to go over these details?
Yes. So this is just your 300 Modern. So start time is 9 a.m. to 7. Again, it's approximate because they do want to do a 1-hour lunch break. They want to do it between rounds. So not sure if they're going to do it at like cut or if they're just going to do it during one of the Swiss rounds. Top Gut goes to top 16, and that'll actually take place on Sunday, and it'll start at 9. And then the prizing is a little bit different than the last one we talked about. So participation is again a Jokerfish. So top 32 gets a Baby Groot and a Parademon. Top 16 gets top 32 stuff plus Forbush Man and Puck. Top 8 gets all of that plus a Zombie Scarlet Witch, a Daredevil and Elektra, a Deceased Black Adam, a Kanto and a Mantis, and then a Black Panther Retail Chase Booster. Top 4 gets, in addition, the Zombie Unicorn, a Zombie Shark, and then a Collector's Trove and Smash and Destroy Chase Booster. Top 2 adds to that with a Kanjar Row, a Deceased Hal Jordan, a Space Ghost, and Blip, and then a soon-to-be-announced DC HeroClix for sale exclusive, and then a factory set of Spider-Verse. And then the runner-up will get 2 Smash and Destroy bricks, so a case.
Technically, yeah.
Yeah, it's weird because it says 2 bricks, which is interesting. And then the champion so at the top of the pile gets a factory set of Smash and Destroy.
That's solid. Yeah, it's really nice to see a lot of the new stuff making the prizing too.
That, like, if you get that, if you're top, like, that is a mountain of prizing.
Yeah, it's making me excited for Worlds already, honestly. And then Sunday still has the mini events that were running during the whole event, but it looks like instead of the premium battle royales, there's a mini chase booster team sealed event, and then the top 16 will face off for the national championship. And then there's a bunch of at least buyable LEs. Miles, do you have a list?
It's going to be in exhibit hall booth number 1601. The following convention exclusive promos will be debuting for purchase at Origins 2025, and in our parallel virtual con. So if you can't make it, it's totally fine. It's going to be for DC. We're going to have the new Kanjar Row for 20, the deceased Hal Jordan for 20, and then Space Ghost and Blip for 25, and then a soon to be announced DC HeroClix convention exclusive, which is the price is not shown. And then they'll also have the Maximum Carnage Deathlock for 20 and the Bifrost box set for 50.
And I think most of that stuff is debuting at H for H next year, or
H
next
for H next
month,
year.
right?
Yes, a lot of it's going to be there too.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It says, this one says that convention exclusive promos will be debuting. So I think H for H maybe have them for the auction.
The auction, maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
But I know they went over a lot
and
of
the
their
soon to be announced
dials.
DC HeroClix. I mean, potentially what they did show in Aquaman. So the 1x2 Aquaman. So, I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
So I think that the H for H, you might be able to win some of this stuff too, as like prizing maybe. But yeah, I don't think you'll be able to buy it. You won't be able to buy it there, obviously, is the thing. This will be the first place you can purchase it.
Yeah, I just know we saw a lot of their cards on their video, and a lot of times those debut at the event in some way. Usually auction, actually. All right, so that will be Origins. I'm going to that with Oliver, and I think I am the only one that's going to be making it to that out of us, right, at the moment?
Yeah, I can't swing it unless circumstances change on my end, so...
All right, yeah, I know there's a couple other local guys that might be making the trip, so we'll have to see as it gets closer. But then this Saturday, we had our monthly championship, so let's get into that one.
The following is a last man standing match.
A last man standing match. Last man standing. A last man standing match.
Last man standing tonight.
All right, so this was April's event. It was Animal, and the special rules for this one is that each person had an extra 50-point or less piece that they put in a kind of like a cell in the middle of the map, and if you got to that cell, you were able to release that character and add them to your force. So, Pete, do you want to go over what you played since you came in 8th place?
I did. Thanks for reminding me, Redmond. I had a team name appropriately. His name is Ted. And the mayor was a large part of this build, and he was 100% correct. And we'll get into when Ted ran into issues. But I had the Prime Man thing at 125 with the Avatar of Gaia. I had my classic dropship, which I played probably every monthly that we've had animals, of Cosmo, Legacy, Maggot, Chip. I did not realize that he didn't have to have the Green Lantern ring, but he had it. Lockjaw, Legacy, and Wonder Woman and Jumpa, who didn't do anything for me other than die. My sideline was Gaia. I had the Heart-Shaped Herb, and my cliX in the box was War of the Realms Rocket Chase, who has played out very big in this monthly many times.
And then coming in 7th was Ali. Ali played a team that was just yum, yum, yum. It had the Pegasus Captain America at 125 with the Biogram image. He did Moreland with the +1 longsword, the A-side to Spider-Ham with the octopus arms for the Flurry Giant Reach 2, and then Jeff the Landshark at 25 because he loves him. And then on his sideline, he had Werewolf by Night, the 048 from Disney Next Phase. And then in 6th place, in our local tryhard fashion, is a team called Animal Control.
Yeah, so he played Pegasus Cap, Spider-Ham. He had not Stormbreaker. He had the Skybreaker on Pegasus Cap. I do not remember if he had something on Spider-Ham. He also had Detective Chimp. I believe it's the play at home kit version because it had defend and it gave protected mystics. He also had Super Sore at 50. And what? Oh, there was something else that I'm missing.
He had a Wendigo.
Yes, that he borrowed from me. There was a Wendigo, and I think was it Chip maybe was the last thing.
Yes, it was Chip.
Yeah, Chip. Yeah, Chip
His
usually
team played
shows
really
up.
well. He had an idea what he was wanting to do, and his team actually worked really, really well. That Spider-Ham's a menace.
Oh, he also had Kazar. That's what it was with the +1 longsword.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, some of the pieces did not last as long as the other pieces. And then Ryan Harris came in 5th.
No, he was 5th. Harris was 5th, yeah.
Yeah. And then his team is Life Finds a Way. It was Super Sore at 200 points with the Avatar of Khonshu, the Prime White Tiger with Avatar of Towerette, Lockjaw, the Legacy with the Indigo Tribe Ring, and then a Swarm of Ants for 10 points for the Empower. And then his piece was Wonder Dawn that was in the cage. Super Sore was pretty good, I would say. He he made a statement in the beginning that this is going to be, what was it, the summer of Superman, because of
Yes.
the talk of Kryptonian not being great, and he's
a little tired of the Kryptonian disrespect on a certain podcast.
Yep,
is what he stated. Yeah.
And then coming in 4th place again is myself. So I played I've been wanting to play the Displacer Beast for a while, so I played him at 125 with the Soul Gem, and then the new Captain America Chase from Smash and Destroy with the all-black Necro Sword, Prime Spider-Ham, Gorilla Grodd, the 10-point from Justice League Unlimited with the Spin Ring, and then Tribbles and a Raven Pog from the Black Panther set. And the idea...
your Spider-Ham had the emo mod, by the way.
Oh yeah, I didn't add that on there. He did have that. So, and then my piece in the cage was Super Sword just to get some late game support. And then the Spin Ring on Gorilla Grodd was so that I could place Displacer Beast and get that charge exploit weakness. And then increase his chance for shape change with Spider-Ham's emotional modifier, bringing the attack down by 1. And that played out really well, Spider-Ham with the emo mod. And then what was the other big thing? And then being able to turn it to Battle Fury, because the apes that mind control usually show up pretty big in this one, and this is, I think, the first time they did not show up as much.
Nope. Not a single Ultra Humanite Insight.
Yeah, which was really surprising because they're usually everywhere. All right, and then coming in 3rd place was Christine with the Loki, the Alligator Loki from Disney Plus, which he was awesome with the Power Gem. He did a lot of stuff. Then the 053 Man Thing, Caveman Wally West with the Longsword, Rocket Raccoon from War of the Realms with Lightning and Spectral Ring, and then it was Chip with the Broadsword and the High Evolutionary Prime with Isotope A. And then her piece in the cage was Spider Rex, and I think she was the only one that did not get her piece out of the cage. And then coming in 2nd place was Looper. So Matt Looper played the small Beast Boy and was able to turn him into the big Beast Boy for Masters of Time. Put Pog Your Pog on him. And then Caveman Wally West with +1 Longsword. War of the Realms Rocket Raccoon with Nightbringer and Spectral. Chip with the Broadsword. The Rocket from Collector's Trove, the 005 with Avatar of Khonshu, and then the Legacy Squirrel Girl with Mjolnir, because she gets that for free. And then he had... the T-Rex in the cage, yeah. So he was able to get him out, but no cool crit hit that KO'd somebody. So he stayed at 50 points. And then... Dan, do you want to read your team?
So I played Khonshu at full. Well, not at full. I main forced him with Avatar of Gaia. And then I played Morlin with the +1 longsword because 13 for 5 from him is awesome. And then I also played the super rare Shuri from Black Panther with the night. I didn't have Nightbringer, so I substituted the 0, and so she has 0 and spin, and then the Dr. Kurt Connors with Lizard on the sideline, and I also had Cannon Event, and then my Beast in the Cage was the Prime White Tiger.
All right, and starting out, I believe Christine drew first blood. I lost my tribbles immediately with my Ravenpog, which was very sad because I had a lot of plans with them, and I think they were gone turn 2. Does that sound right?
They were.
Yes.
The only thing that I was impressed that I was able to pull off was I healed Morlin turn 1 with Connors, and I rolled a 6 on support, so I could have swapped him to Lizard turn 1, but I figured the Perplex and support was better than him being a Lizard.
Yeah, that was a good idea. I was stuck between Ali and Christine, which is a terrible place to be. So I tried to position, and it did not work. I thought that Rocket had a 6 range. I forgot it was a 7, so miscounted and lost some fun pieces for the rest of the day. And then what happened first? Bookwood versus Ali or Christine versus Pete? Because both were pretty brutal.
Christine versus Pete was first.
So I was in the corner where I normally start, which is next to the Redmond stove. So I have to make sure I don't actually turn on the gas stove accidentally the whole day. And plus it lets me put all my stuff out there. So the storm was coming in pretty quick. So across from me I had Looper and Dan, and next to me I had Christine. And I could get where I wanted to get, but Looper positioned really well where I couldn't dropship him how I wanted to. Because I was honestly looking to make a pretty big impact, and then I saw Dan kind of move towards him, and I didn't really want much to do with Dan's team. So I made the unfortunate decision of violating my one rule, and that's mess with Christine. So I came in and dropshipped and got her Wally West in one turn, and I left my man thing back, and then she proceeded to do a ton of damage, but everything survived, and then I was able to kill her man thing. And then I kind of peeled off and went back to my herb to heal, and she kind of surprised me when she chased me. And that's where it started to violate those rules of don't engage Christine, because she pretty handily destroyed most of the dropship at that point. I think Chip died first, and then, no, I think Lockjaw actually went out first, and then Chip in the same turn. And then it was pretty much just left with Cosmo and Maggot, and the storm was on top of us by that point. So I was trying to just get out of there, but do something with Cosmo because I couldn't use his power and move him anymore. And so I don't even remember what happened. I just know everything on that side was dead. And I kind of threw Man-Thing. That's probably about the time that... No, Man-Thing got involved in my initial alpha too. So the thing with Man-Thing is once somebody took 2 action tokens, I could place him. And then basically wait until my next turn and poison. So that's kind of how I ended up getting her Wally West so easily. Yeah, so Man-Thing kind of wandered off, and he had Gaia, so you couldn't really target him unless you based him. So everybody's kind of leaving him alone for a while, and then Christine killed the rest of my team.
Yeah, that was pretty dangerous, and everybody was kind of very apprehensive to take a second action token.
And I tried to bait Pete once. I was like, cool, I'll take the second action token, and then I will just like have Morlin right here. So when you drop, I got a guy for that. I was like, okay. But he did not take the bait at that point.
And then Bookwood kind of went after, I think he was trying to go through Ollie to get to me, but Ollie kind of caught some of the rough stuff. He lost his Captain America pretty quick, and what else? Jeff the Land Shark. And then he brought his Spider-Ham and Morlin over closer to me. But by the time he got there, I was able to get into the main middle part of the building. And Bookwood kept coming in that way. And then I snuck in, and Harris came in. And I went a little too far with my Captain America. And he came in and just absolutely rocked him and got him to his last click. It was rough. So
that was hilarious watching Super Sword just pummel Captain America into the turf. I was like, ooh, I do not want to be that guy.
Yeah, that was pretty rough. I was able to then get my super sore out though, and slowly, I think it took like 3 turns at least. I was able to heal him back to top click with the free support on a smaller character, and I was able to get back at Harris. And what did I take? Who took out his Wally West? Did I? Or no, he didn't have Wally West. I'm sorry.
No.
He had. I took out the Swarm of Ants and White Tiger pretty quick, and then Lockjaw and Super Sore were there for the next turn. I took Lockjaw off, I think, next turn. So that he was left with just his 200-point Super Sore for most of the game. But Super Sore still did some work.
Yeah, his team was brilliant because it was just a damage sponge for a 200-point piece.
Yeah.
Yep. So it was Harris always brings something, and there were 2 pieces I really couldn't mess with on the board with Man Thing, and it was that 200-point Super Sore and Dan's Khonshu. So that played into a lot of my decision making.
Yeah, that Khonshu was pretty good. What do you? Let's see, Dan. I think Dan and Looper, you guys went a little bit at each other for a bit, right? Around that time.
We tangled. Basically, I threw my pog at him because I'm like, well, I healed Moreland, which dropped out. I think it was Verna, which is the hypersonic one, and I just kind of moved her over there to try to hit to be like, well, what's the worst that could happen? Because it's like either I go hit him first and tie him up, or he gets his team in here and is able, like, it was just too deadly. So he killed Verna, but by that point I had came in and swung with Moreland, and then I ended up taking Gaia damage with Khonshu, because that was why I took the second action token that one turn, was because I wanted to avoid taking the like clearing to avoid the damage, but I ended up taking it, so I ended up I used the cannon event to make him immune for a turn so that he wouldn't get hurt any further. And we tangled, and I stripped off most of Looper's team, honestly, and then I just kind of left him alone because I think I got him down to just Beast Boy and Squirrel Girl.
Squirrel Girl, yeah.
So, and then Pete drop shipped Man Thing on me, and Ted poisoned my entire bit of support in one go.
Yeah, it was great. I was really only trying to get rid of Connor, so they only asked to see his card. I didn't realize that Shuri was that low. The fun part of Man Thing is there's just like this sense of dread when somebody saw me place him. And then Dan was really annoyed, so I kind of rolled my Man Thing away and then warped into the other side of the board to get away from Dan.
It was honestly pretty cool.
Well, I mean, I'm one of the few people that A, I could shoot you because I could see through hindering, and B, I was the same amount of points, so you can't like only take the 1 damage. So I was
at that point, I was trying to get rid of. Bookwood was handing Ollie a beating, so Ollie kind of peeled off and went into the middle, and Bookwood kind of chased him. And I saw an opportunity to go over there, so I port Man Thing next to Ollie. His pieces, and he's like, please don't poison me. I'm like, all right, Ollie. So I went after Captain America, and because I had to get him off the board is what I kept thinking, and it did not work out for me. Like, I missed my attacks. And Bookwood hit the 1 blades I couldn't have him hit with Captain America on that Man Thing, and he rolled a 6 and then finished him up with a follow-up attack. So my day was quick and brutal, but I enjoyed my team. I thought it did exactly what I wanted it to. It was funny to me to watch people just not take second actions, thinking I was just going to be super crazy aggressive. And I was going to be, given the opportunity, but it was fun to have that kind of impact. So not the day I was hoping for, but that was the end of my day at the hands of our local tryhard.
And then the action kind of all moved in for the most part, at least to the center part of the map. We had Ollie with Spider-Ham, because he ended up losing Moreland, and Spider-Ham got out his... Oh, who was his extra? Oh, Werewolf by Night. And he had to succeed on a 6, and he was hitting those 6s on the Super Sense rolls with Spider-Ham. Stayed alive for a little bit, and eventually he got taken out. And then next, I think Harris was just trying to wreck people with the Super Sore, all of those attacks. He got out Wonder Dawn, and then Wonder Dawn, I think, went down pretty quick. I think, what was it? Christine brought in the Loki alligator, right? And just destroyed. I think she hit like 5 damage twice on Super Sore and was able to take out Wonder Dawn. No?
And she hit the 10 from the power
Yes.
gem, so she got like the extra pen. I was like, oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so Loki alligator took took Super Sore pretty hard. And then I forget how Wonder Dawn died. I might have actually gotten Wonder Dawn.
I think you did, because she took out my Moreland, which was sad because I was on the last click, which is last click is pretty good. It was like a 12 attack. I think at least 4. I think it was 4 damage maybe again. But I was like, all right, I have, and it's charged, so I was like, all right, I stand a good chance to heal. I can pop out a bystander and just get the train rolling again. And yeah, I was like, nope. And then Wonder Dawn just murdered him.
No, her Loki bullied people at the power gem because that's what ate most of my team was that stupid Loki.
I think that was her MVP for sure. And then Bookwood kind of split his team, which is the big mistake to make there. He put a bunch of people on me, kept some of them out, and then brought the other ones to I think the other side of the middle map, right? And I've never seen somebody go from like looking like they had the chance to win to getting eliminated as fast as Bookwood went. His team got just basically taken out in one turn.
My vampire was feasting.
Yeah, Christine destroyed that Wendigo. Like, just destroyed almost a full point Wendigo at that point. And I don't know when he lost his Spider Ham.
That was last. That was to Christine too.
I did pop out Gaia, and that's how I got my rocket out. And then I just really couldn't do anything because everybody ran away from Gaia. Because I didn't want to get pulled away.
Except for me.
Yeah, that's true. Dan got Gaia. So he had a bunch of prods towards the end.
And then, so Harris was out, and then Bookwood was out, then Harris was out, and then what came down? So then I was trying to get to the middle to take advantage of that arena marker, and then Dan just kept outwitting Captain America, and I just couldn't get clear. And so Christine lost Rocket to Dan's team, and then the storm damage brought High Evolutionary to a stop click, and the whole plan with that was to boop him over to the cell so that she could let out Spider Rex, and she totally forgot to move him when he got moved to his stop click. So that was rough on that end. But then I ended up getting taken out by Looper, and then I forget who took out Christine.
I did.
And then it came down to just Dan and Looper, and then how did that finish out, Dan?
I mean, Conchu just did Conchu stuff. Like, he just that top dial is amazing. Like, it's hypersonic, psychic blast, outwit. I would just outwit something, shoot him, and then I had White Tiger Prime, who takes a max of 2 damage from attacks and is like a 12 for 4 top dial with CCE. So she was just charging, attacking, hitting stuff. And I think I was starting to pick up objects because there was so many equipments on the ground. So I would just like charge, pick up an equipment, hit somebody with it. So
yeah, we got introduced to my new favorite Danism, where early in the day, when he's bullying poor Looper in the corner, he kept talking about he didn't metaguess correctly. Nobody's attacking your Conchu, dude.
I know. No, it was one of those where like I look at the board and it was completely not what I thought was gonna get played. Like I was like had certain things in mind that I thought I was gonna see, and then you get to the game and I'm like, whoa, like what I thought was gonna hit the board did not. So I was just amazed. That was my thought, and that was why I said that. It was just, I'm planning for certain things and I'm like, well, none of that is here.
Well, usually it takes a piece to get eliminated on your team before we get the I should have built different. Oh, I knew it. I just should have. Sometimes 2 pieces, but this was a record because 0 pieces were eliminated and you already regretted the build that won.
Again, yeah. I'm pretty sure I lucked into this win. It really didn't. It was like, oh, okay, like, and then it's like, oh, I'm here. Oh, I'm still here. Holy crap, I can actually maybe pull this off.
I'm honestly
I was really cheering for Looper to get somebody with that T-Rex.
Yeah,
just to the
clutch
chaos.
Moves, yeah.
Yes.
Because he had such a bad early game.
Yeah, his dice were rough. Our early engagement, he had Wally West attack me, and he had the 3 attacks and I think 2 probs or 3 probs, and he couldn't hit me. I was just like, okay. I was expecting at least 2 of the attacks to land. And I was just like, oh, okay, that was rough. Like I felt bad just because it's like, man, not even the one landing was just hard time.
He did message me when he got Squirrel Girl to pop out the squirrel bystander and get his piece out. He was pretty proud of that. So
yeah, he was talking about. He's like, I got a plan, and I'm like, okay, I got to see this. So I just kind of left him alone. I'm like, go for it. Like I want to see whatever this is gonna be.
It was good. I was surprised that
Rerolling
so good.
Wood's crit miss was one of my favorite moments where he rolled that crit miss and then he hit Harris.
Oh,
yeah, we're gonna prob that.
That probably hurt more than him coming in and destroying Captain America. When he decided to prob that crit miss. That hurt a lot.
Yeah. No, yeah, that was huge.
Wait,
and I was like, yeah.
Which crit miss was this? What?
Bookwood came in with, I think it was his Captain America, his Pegasus, and on my Super Store maybe, and he crit missed, and and so Harris decided to prob that crit miss and give him another chance. So that probably hurt more than it. Yeah. But congrats, Dan, on the win. That was what, number 3?
Number 4.
Number 4. All right. Don't say it.
It's kind of been the Looper and Dan show for most of this last few months. They've just been changing the title back and forth.
Mm-hmm. As long as nobody gets the back-to-back.
I know there's a joke in there about how many you've won, but I was going to refrain from it tonight because I finished in 8th, so I don't get to talk that much trash.
I was ready for it.
Note to self: if Pete finishes last, he can't talk.
Dude, Ted made his impact. I mean, Ted made people not do things. And poisoning your whole support was easily my favorite thing of the day, and I had to get out of there because the vengeance was coming. Because you were the one thing that could see Man-Thing the whole time.
Yep.
And I was like, yep, he's taking full damage from that stupid Khonshu, so I'm getting out of here the first chance somebody takes 2 action tokens. Thankfully, Ollie did it for me.
Yeah, honestly, that was probably one of my favorite things was seeing him bop around the whole map. That was pretty cool play. So I'll give you props for that.
Really, he's such a unique piece, and like that's like he can just make such a huge impact if you don't pay attention, and you just suddenly like, oh no, he's here, and there's like all these pieces that are double tokened and just so much poison.
And well, you had to wait like for the turn to come around. And so when I finally called poison and said 3, Dan was like, let me see that card. That can't be right. And I'm like, no, they have 2 action tokens, Dan. And he's
no. Yep. It's not even that I didn't believe you. It's just one of those where I'm like, man, I own this piece. I should know better. And it's just like, crap.
Yeah, that was a mayor build, and it caused chaos. But the non-mayor part was me with the dropship, and it did. I scored points, but I did not get to my 300, which is what I normally consider a success in our format. I think I was like 265.
Miles, so. Did you have a different part of that build for him, and then he changed it to be the dropship?
No, it was just mainly just Ted with that, and then the Lockjaw dropship was going to be there too, a little bit.
I was wondering if it was the same.
No, yeah, but it was mainly that man thing because you wanted to protect that man thing.
Oh, definitely,
dude. Guy is good.
Oh, Guy is amazing.
Yeah.
Now, Pete, would you say 8th place and less than 300 points was not a success then?
I would say it's not a success by any of the metrics I normally have. But the day goes quick for me. Either it goes quick or I do really well. This was a quick day. So it was not a success, though.
All right. Well, yeah. Congrats.
It was still
Dan.
A blast. Yeah. Congrats, Dan.
Let's move to the listener questions.
Your ass better call somebody.
All right. First, we have Peter Marshfield, who missed the questions from last week for the Porter episode. So he says, I ain't missing this one. On the cliX front, what Silver Age combo are you looking to put on the table? This can include elements from Modern or Silver. I don't really have any teams built yet. I kind of got monsters out of my system last year. I haven't been able to put a ton of thought into silver this year yet, though, for the events coming up. But ideas that I am kind of looking at is, of course, Arachnite, Madam Web, and adding Spider-Ham to that with maybe a Spider-Man family. Or back to Mystical with, get this, Arachnite and Madam Web. Otherwise, I'm just waiting for post-rotation assassins, honestly. I think that's what I'm most excited for. So anything before that is just going to be playing something that I enjoyed in Modern before. Miles, are you building anything right now with Silver?
Just tinkering with build ideas, not really like going all in, but like to get the basic idea going on. The double spot with the Scientist Sinister Syndicate swap, since Scientist gives you a lot of the support that Sinister Syndicate doesn't have. So that's one of my ideas, and then of course the X-Men team with Kitty Pryde to just get that drop ship.
Okay, yeah, and it's the spot from SVAC and the new spot. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so if you give the new spot like sidestep from the cloak, it's really good because the SVAC spot actually says if when a friendly character with Sinister Syndicate uses phasing, their minimum speed becomes 10. So now your spot has a 10 speed with a new one instead of a 7.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, there's definitely some potential there.
Don't you have to use like phasing specifically, like the?
Yeah, that's why you'd give them sidesteps. That way you can use the full movement phasing, and then sidestep to move back.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just wasn't sure. Okay.
Yeah, as I was saying with the cloak.
Dan, I know you're judging the event down in H4H, but is there anything that you're looking at in Silver right now after the changes?
Like you, I have my piece, and it's probably Legacy Odin, but I want to try him with the armor because he gets it for free, and giving him Psychic Blast so I can just hit somebody for 5 sounds really good. So, as much as I like the trick arrows, I want to see how the armor plays on him. Just because he gets it for free and just giving him a reducer. So if they actually get past his reducer clicks and you hit the mid ones where he has super senses, I think that just gives him a lot more survivability long term.
Now, is that something that you're also looking at Modern, or have you kind of moved past him in Modern?
No, I still like him a lot. I played at the Winamap yesterday. I played a different warrior team and I liked it. Like I still got second, but it's just like it's a bomb. Like I go over and do a lot of damage, but if I don't completely cripple a team, like it falls apart about as fast as I got over there. So I still like him for his durability and just like what he does to things. So
Pete, you usually build your teams the night before. So is there anything that if there was an event tomorrow, you'd be building right now?
Oh, absolutely. I'd be rebuilding. I'd send 7 builds to Miles, and then I would not take any of his advice, and I'd play something that got 1 turn the next day. Round 1. Then I normally figure it out after that. But I'd probably Collector. Still getting a lot of looks from me because that opens Cosmic back up, which is one of my favorite keywords. And I always go back to Latveria because I love Latveria teams.
Which you've kind of not been able to stick to a Latveria team, right? I think they always are like your second team, and then you move usually into like a warrior thing with Apoc Genesis.
That one's had a lot of success for me in Silver, honestly. And until Silver went to the Highlander format, it just felt like there was a lot of answers for it, but now Highlander opens it back up. So that's one that always gets a look, and Warrior's gotten so good the last few years. So that's a lot of really great pieces. But I don't know. I think this year maybe Latveria. The thing when Latveria was modern, though, and you'll remember this, I played Latveria for 2 years.
I remember.
So for me, that's a big commitment to play anything for more than 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I would actually look forward to seeing what you come up with Latveria now after we've gotten a bunch of new pieces.
Yeah, I think that could be really cool because just the variety of things that you can sneak onto there and just the versatility of that team. I mean, obviously the Doom Swap is amazing. But just the other stuff that you can pair with it now, it's could be so different. Like Latveria teams, like when Latveria was modern legal, like it felt like it was very not like cookie cutter, but just there was hardly like much variation in build style. And now it's like, well, I don't know what I'm gonna see when I come across that team.
Well, the good news is you can put Collector on Latveria because that's what he needed. So, you know.
And that was one of the ones that the keywords that kind of showed up in the silver states. So there's some potential there. Then number 2, on the TV show front, on a scale of 1 to a slice of red dragon meat on pizza, how likely is it that we could get your thoughts on Delicious in Dungeon, aka Dungeon Meshi? For those of you with any interest in the high fantasy setting like D&D, it's a fun watch. This question is on par with Lighthouse Gundams. I have no idea what these words mean.
I was the same way. I don't watch that.
Well, this is an anime, so I get, or well, I
Let's
feel
hear
like
about
is.
it then, Dan.
I don't know really anything about it. I know I've seen the manga. I have not read it. But it is very much like, it's like watching Dungeons and Dragons if it was animated. That's the best I can put it.
So I didn't even Google it. I assumed it was a cooking show. Delicious in Dungeon just sounds like some weird, like.
So I totally agree. I thought it was a D&D themed cooking show.
So full disclosure, I was with Redmond and Miles. I thought there was some cooking show thing I didn't know about. So I don't know what Peter. Congratulations, you've out nerded us yet again. So
I kind of want to see a D&D cooking show now, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that would have hyped me up. And then once Dan talked about manga and anime, I'm like, he lost me because
yeah. I know once we step into that realm, all of you are just like, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I've watched my fair share of animes, but
we can't talk about it on this podcast, but probably.
Well, no, hentai, I guess, but no, I just the modern stuff just doesn't do it for me. Especially with Delicious in Dungeon, I'm thinking a cooking show, and now it's got me all excited and hungry. So,
dude, I'm baking with the Beholder, steaks with the Replacer Beast. There's something here.
Yes, there's something there.
We get to hunt with the owl bear. Let's go.
Yeah, perfect.
All right, going to question number 3. In the build critique vein, how mad are we about Legacy Panther not being viable to block the one-shots in Silver Age? While I understand the argument of rivalry should be just an auto-include, the field of game elements has such a wider variety of keywords. Do you really think this is a valid argument, or is this just for people who to complain about not wanting to give me 30 points of easy to beat the daylights out of? I think it's more or less just to appease people that are complaining about seeing him too much, because I don't understand why he's on so many teams if Beetlejuice is benched. I think that's really what it comes down to. So he's not the must play once Beetlejuice became benched.
No, he's still amazing for 30 points. Like, just
absolutely shutting off those one shots. The sideline actives, like somebody can have prime. Like their prime absorbing man, like that's just useless now.
Exactly. He's never coming in ever.
Yeah.
So, and then
you would waste one of your choices on prime absorbing man? I'm not saying he's not good.
Depending on what was there, for sure. Absolutely.
I mean, a free character coming in that's 120 points is a frustration to deal with, probably. Yeah.
So I don't think that he should have been benched. You guys think he should be benched?
No, I don't think he should be benched. It's just that he is. I don't agree with saying that he's not still like a must. Like, he's still S tier meta even without Juice on the sideline. Like, he's still that good for 30 points.
No, there's a difference between having to play and still being really good.
No, I know, but I just don't think he would drop off that much in play, even if Juice stays benched. I don't think he'd see the drop off. He's still so good for what he does. He's an amazing leadership and tempo piece with the Vibranium. He does the sideline stuff, and he's got outwit and whatever else. I mean, he's just good, and he's hard to kill. I mean, he's not an easy kill. He's 5 clicks. Like, you have to actually put in damage.
He does also take 30 points of your 200 points, though. Again, I know he's really good. and he's on all of my teams. But I'm only playing him because I want to be able to play my team. I would not play him if I didn't have to.
I think it's just Aaron was pretty transparent on this. It's just that he's making such a modern impact that they're trying to separate the formats a little bit, which is fine. I think Legacy Panther solves more problems than he causes.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my feeling on him and why he will continue to say play in modern. And Silver, him affecting a bigger sideline is when he is available is going to be huge. So it's still only 2 pieces, but it's potentially changes the way your opponent is going to approach their game.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you guys think we need more pieces like him so that he isn't the high-costed piece that everyone plays?
Yes, you definitely need more pieces that interact with the side, like more pieces that interact with the sideline, right? Not just even if it interacts differently than him.
Right.
Still just think do
Yeah,
stuff.
someone's able to shut off because there was Dr. Thing. So but now the sideline's becoming so ridiculous that we definitely need other options. It's still going to be hard to find a better figure than for what, this figure can do, because he's great. But just to have multiple options with keywords and whatnot, because there is Despero and whatnot, but
he's the closest thing, and he's a good substitute, but he's also more limited just because you're either playing him on theme or you're maybe trying to sneak him onto Latveria.
It's one thing.
I think
20 more points.
Yeah.
I think he's interesting because you have Despero who's 50 and he who's 30. So the next version of whatever they're going to do with this, because sidelines are a huge part of HeroClix now in all the major formats like Modern and Silver, that I'm anxious to see what the point cost for that next piece will be.
Yeah.
And the dollar cost.
Right. All right, moving to Rob Peterson. This was a pretty good question here. What is your definition of casual? I try to be a casual player and to run a more casual venue, but casual is the most difficult balancing act to achieve in a collectible game. There always seems to be at least one person that plays harder, better than the rest of the players, and the more experienced players don't want to feel like they're constantly having to play with both arms tied behind their back. If they go too easy on the other players, they are the ones that might get stomped. If they kick it up a notch, they are the ones doing the stomping. I feel that it is a very important thing to have a venue around that provides a place for more relaxed play, but it also seems to be a regular point of contention between my players as well as all the other players I've ever encountered. Casual always seems to want to hate competitive, and I've certainly heard some nasty things about casual players on the obverse of that, even on your own podcast. For example, let them go play battle royales all day with the casuals. As a casual player myself, I would just like to defend my people by saying that we're not necessarily bad at the game. Hell, I personally used to hang just fine with the top 4 Worlds players. We just like to play more leisurely. As I told another of my players recently, not everybody wants to be better at the game. He was trying to raise everybody's skill level up and was getting a lot of resistance. Some players want to play this game more as a beer league and not as a constant competitive grind. Neither answer is correct, and one of the things I've been saying for 23 years in this game is that people should find their own fun. I was just hoping to get some of your thoughts on the subject. So, believe it or not, I would actually rather play casual more often. I'm just a very competitive person, though, and so I do enjoy the competitive events. Just a few weeks ago, I was talking at our venue too, just about how sealed event practices, chase booster events, we really haven't been able to build fun teams in a while. But after Adepticon, I think I played 3 zombie unicorns and 3 zombie sharks. And then a couple weeks ago, I played a WWE team with, Stone Cold's, HBK and Ultimate Warrior. So I have way more fun playing teams like that. When I'm building for a regular Monday, I usually try to balance my teams. When I add a much more efficient piece, I'll add a piece that's, I guess, less efficient, ones that you probably just wouldn't even expect to see that don't do as much for their points. I want to play games that go back and forth and either person has a chance. To me, that's more of a casual event. Now, sometimes people will bring more meta teams to a regular weeknight, and if they smash everyone, then everyone maybe builds a little harder the next week to make sure that doesn't happen again. I think that we when we talk about casuals playing BRs, it's that's the most common time people are trying for gotcha moments or try to be rules sticklers. And on average, I have more pleasant games with people that play competitive more frequently. That was kind of a long answer, but to sum it up, I think people need to know how efficient the pieces they're playing are and how often will you find them on a competitive team. I'm probably not using anything on the top 20 list, and if I grab one, it's because the character that I'm playing, it's the character, and then I'll play something less efficient to balance that out.
Exactly. Like, I guess, like, so I like your distinction between leisurely and casual. Like, what I would consider, like, casual is, like, someone that, like, comes in and, like, is, like, just, what's it, like, it basically, like, brings, like, a really meta team to, like, a regular event, but they don't show up regularly, is what I'm, and then you get the, like, okay, so they came in for a day and played that when it was just like a regular old Monday night, and there's like nothing going on. When we want to bring the like, this is fun. Like, let me bring my Asgardians so I can just have a fun time instead of, like meta practice. So, leisurely is more just like I just want to go have fun, and like we definitely like shoot for fun. Like that's what we, like that's like our monthly. Monthly is like the thing I look forward to the most. And like even if we do like obviously we play like good stuff, but like I wouldn't consider like everything we played on Saturday as like all like high meta pieces. So
Well, it gives you a chance to play other pieces. Like you got to play full point a main force Khonshu. Pete played the Prime Man thing. Like that's all stuff that you wouldn't get to play normally.
Exactly. So like I think that's like how I would differentiate it is like that's what I think of someone when I think of like more of like a casual person is like they just like kind of come in and play something that doesn't even like fit the event. Like it's just a regular Monday night. Why am I facing, you know, what I would like consider like high end meta today? Like that's where I sit with it. Like not uh like most of the time like otherwise like the regular events are like some of the most fun and I really enjoy that just as much as I do the competitive stuff where I can uh, flex like how much I've grown as a player over time.
I think you can. The reason why we say like to have the casuals go and play the battle royals, so you can go look at the battle royal tables and you can see the tables that are having fun, and then the tables that aren't. And when I lean more towards casuals, like you said, with the difference between leisurely play, they don't ever have fun. They can be rolling their bad dice, and like they're gonna make sure that everyone at that table with them is not having fun or enjoying their time. That's to me casual. I can play and have fun, no problem. I don't care if I roll crit misses or whatever. Sometimes in competitive games, it's a little rough, but that happens. To make a point to go and make everybody else's day bad because your die rolls are bad, or to break figures in battle royals because you didn't get enough points. That's when I'm leaning towards the casuals. I'm not saying that Rob is a bad player or anything like that. We have a few people up here, Mike C. He considers himself a casual, and like all he wants to do is just have fun and play fun. And that's another reason why I wanted to bring these monthlies in, so that way he was actually able to play and everything, And it is tough sometimes, like if they go easy, because I'm like Redman and I'm very competitive, and so it's sometimes I do have to like not have my foot on the gas, and sometimes that's hard because when you're playing leisurely, you're not going to really see things that you would see if you're playing competitively. Like that's two sides of the same coin. If you play competitively, you're going to see those like nasty combos, or like in a game, like an attack that's just going to obliterate your opponent. And there's a time to be able to take your foot off the gas. And yeah, that's tough to do. But I don't consider players that are just have fun and everything. I really don't consider them more of casual players. I consider them more leisure players. The casual players that we just knock are just the ones that just make sure that everyone at their table is not having fun.
Yeah, it's more of an attitude, not they're bad players. It's when we say that it's the way that they respond, like the way that they get super pissed off when whatever they thought was going to do amazing doesn't do amazing, and then it's like we feel bad for playing just because things didn't work out for them.
This is a great question, Rob. It's a really well thought out question. And I just want to start by saying that there's probably not many worse HeroClix players in the world than me. So, but I love the game. I fall into a lot where we're a competitive group of people when we play, even when it's leisurely games or whatever you would call leisurely games. And I guess we're really just talking about like values of pieces, kind of, right? Like, well, this is meta, this is not meta. So I often end up playing pieces because I don't have the time to play as much clicks as other people. And so I'll bring things that I want to play, and most of the things that I want to play are considered a little meaner piece just by standards. And so that's kind of where it comes from for me. I don't think I agree 100% with what everybody said. We pride fun more than anything else. So if you're going to go to anything, Monday nights, worlds, whatever, and you're going to try to make everybody else have a bad experience, that's the thing that we don't like. So I guess that's kind of more of a player dependent thing. I just want to enjoy my free time playing a hobby I like and have fun. And at the end of the day, just walk away from the table and be like, yeah, I didn't win, but man, that was a blast. So
honestly, it's a lot of the casual games that we play that we have fun in that I remember the best. Like when we first started playing, we did what was it, Pete? An X-Men versus Alpha Flight game that was a ton of fun. And that was like how many years ago now? Like 7?
Oh, that was, yeah. And we played, Wakanda versus Shi'ar.
Yep.
Like we were playing like 1,000-point games because that's when I had my Thursdays mostly free. So I would just go to Redmond's house and we would seriously just play HeroClix all day. And yeah, those are ones that I really hold as just being some of the most fun I've had. And the monthly is just amazing. The monthly lets you can build and you can meta guess and you're going to be wrong 9 times out of 10. Or even if you're Dan and you meta guess incorrectly and win, so.
Yeah, I forget.
That's always the fun is like, the like for us, like that's probably like our most like leisurely game is the monthly. And that's like the thing I look forward to the most because like, okay, well, what kind of shenanigans can I bring to the table this month?
But
there's definite competitive moments in those games, though.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
We're all a little competitive, right? But at the same time, we're there to have fun for sure.
Exactly.
But even like our venue, we get a couple of people that'll show up eventually, or like sometimes, and I always feel bad when it's in like a event where we're practicing for like Adepticon or something like that, because I try to tell people if they come and it's a lower event that, if you're able to come next time, then it's going to be a little bit more competitive. But for the most part, like we really have a pretty healthy area that we aren't super overly competitive on a regular weekly event. I think that's
we try to
healthy.
be upfront about it because I remember like the last like before Adepticon when it was just lots of practice. Like we had some of the guys that don't always play like the real, like competitive stuff, and we were just super upfront about it and like, hey, look, this is a practice night. Like, apologies in advance for this. Just because it's like we're just trying to get ready for events.
Yeah, and that doesn't feel good to play that.
No, that's like one of those where I'm like, man, I should have brought a second team just in case, and I've been like, oh, can we just do, hey, I'm gonna practice my competitive team. Are you okay with that? Or otherwise, I got this team I can play.
Mm-hmm. And that was one great suggestion that came up was like some nights if people want to bring their meta teams and another team, that we've done that too. So I think it's really just it's hard to find that balance with people. Rob, it really is. And I don't think either viewpoint is particularly wrong because honestly, for some people, winning is the only fun they have. And I don't fall under that realm, and I don't think the rest of us do. But good luck in finding that.
Did you guys want to say anything else? Because that was a good question.
No, great question. Thanks for the
No, yeah,
support.
that was an amazing question that was like really hard to articulate because yeah, I know we do say go play battle royals with the casuals, and so I guess that can definitely be skewed the wrong way.
Yeah,
And I don't want it to be
I think we
looked
mean
at like that.
we mean that as more of the attitude of how you approach the game and how you approach like playing and interacting with other people versus like how you play the game.
Right.
Yeah, it's like people that like take Monopoly serious or whatever, and you have the casuals, or like even the casual mindset where somebody doesn't know anything about the subject, but they have to like give their 2 cents about how they're gonna make it better. When it's like no,
That's another good point.
and that goes forever. It's like really like why are you giving your 2 cents? Like it doesn't matter. Like, and everybody thinks that their opinion matters, and it's if you're gonna give constructive criticism, at least like give it a way to how you're gonna fix it instead of just bitching and complaining and moaning. That's the casual mindset for me right there in a nutshell.
I think
Todd Heath.
I think it's just a perception problem of how we choose to apply labels to things. So casual in our vernacular is something that we really equate more to bad sportsmanship, and that's what we don't want, but it got termed under casual.
Yes. All right, going to Joe Ruffing. After 6 chases and 2 primes in Spider-Verse, is a rare Rhino in a Hulk Asgardian set going to finally be the piece that puts Sinister Six over the top? I think it's close. I went to win a map last night with a mostly Sinister Syndicate team. Had Mysterio, Sandman, and Legacy Swarm. A lot of fun to play. I would have loved to use Norman Osborn, but again, because of Beetlejuice, I had to use Cherry Panther so I could actually play the team. But I'll be playing a lot of Sinister Syndicate in the coming months for sure.
Well, yeah, that's Rhino becomes huge because those Mysterio clones now get charged mind control. So yeah, there's just so much that you're gonna be able to do with them. But obviously, like you said, you're gonna have to break theme to get Panther on the board because
otherwise the team doesn't work.
You can't play the team. And there you go. That's the difference between this is where it gets really contentious, is that the casual players that want to have fun playing the Sinister Syndicate, and then you have the casual players that never play competitive, but they want to play the Beetlejuice. Like, so what that's the casual player if you don't want people to have fun playing Sinister Syndicate because you want to play Beetlejuice.
Mm-hmm.
Forcing them to play, which is sad.
I think knowing Joe as a player and knowing Joe as a builder, if he's looking at Sinister Syndicate, we probably all should be.
I'm sure he already has a team with Rare Rhino, who is awesome. Yeah, he did work at our pre-release.
I pulled him in like my winning or one of the extra prize boosters, and he looks awesome, and B I like that idea of just trying to I'm excited to just look at this and build with him because he's just cool to start out with, and I want to see what what characters with the TA I can do with shenanigans, because it says his thing is friendly characters with the team ability, so it's not can use, so they have to have it on base, right?
Yeah, so in silver, that's where it gets really nuts. Luckily, he's not available in silver for Rock Cup because you have that Prime Iron Spider.
So, yeah. So, but
there's a lot of shenanigans in silver with that.
Yeah, that for me seems pretty cool because there's a lot of characters that can get the Sinister Syndicate team ability, and I want to see what stuff I can do with that because that just seems fun for me. That's really dope. So,
and he just gives anyone that can use charge, you just modify your speed +1. Doesn't have anything else. They just have to be friendly. So yeah, he's awesome. He's definitely got some potential by himself on other teams too, but I'm especially excited to play him on Sinister Syndicate. Pete, anything on Rhino?
No, I stand by my Joe statement.
It's probably accurate. I can't wait to see what he does with Sin 6. That'll be cool.
Then we got Dylan Barrett. Not a question, but I wanted to share the misery of not having Immortal Abomination in the Smash and Destroy set. I'm unfamiliar with this story. Who knows it?
It's Immortal Hulk, and so he has the picture of
yes
of Immortal Abomination. I don't know if you saw the picture, but the picture is instantly yeah. Dan, did you read Immortal Hulk at all?
I did read Immortal Hulk. So this was what was this? Was this after he got? Yes. So it was So this is A-Bomb's body, but he got possessed by, I can't remember who it was. It wasn't Leader, it was somebody else. So Immortal Hulk was a much more like dark and gory storyline as far as like most comics are concerned, and so there was a lot of like body switching that happened with this series. So like Sasquatch got taken over by Doc Samson, and the Abomination got taken over by one of the guys from the military, and he basically used it almost like a pseudo suit of armor, and that's how you get this look of the immortal abomination. So it was overall like a very interesting run. So
Okay, yeah, I was unfamiliar with it. I didn't even realize it was from the same storyline as Immortal Hulk. I thought he had like his own storyline. All right, going to Wes Robertson. For about the last year, WizKids has made their con-exclusive figures available to the community online. Do you agree the general public should have equal access even if they don't attend in person, or do you think the players who attend should have exclusive access? This might be an unpopular opinion, but I think Con-LE should be exclusive to in-person events for 6 months. Where are you guys with that?
not the purchasable stuff, the winnable stuff.
No, the winnables for sure. The winnables, yes.
Yeah, the winnables, I don't have a problem with them having a window where they're just exclusive to if you place or win. That's fine. But the purchasables, no, like just that's
Yeah, if
fine.
you can go and just purchase it there, you should be able to purchase it at a virtual con. That's fine. But yeah, the winnables.
Pete?
It's the scalpers mainly for that. Like they're gonna pay $20 and people are gonna pay $100. Like no, there's no reason for that. But if you actually have to win it, like the Black Adam, for instance, like that was a winnable. You know, it should have been a winnable, and then turned out not to be. Yeah.
Do you mean Darkseid?
Darkseid.
Oh yeah, Darkseid. Yeah. Yeah. That's where it's at. Is that Darkseid was considered a winnable, and then he was purchasable. Like
yeah,
that's
that was rough.
Yeah.
But what happened with Black Adam for sure, and like Zombie Scarlet Witch, that's all been exclusive for a little bit now. I think that's fine. I don't know. It just doesn't seem as special because the events. Well, that's one of the big things. Like you go there, you get them. I think if they're just getting shipped to people anyway, the next week it just loses a little bit of what makes it special.
Well, no, but that's not what we're talking about.
Yeah, but if you look at the amount that are purchasables compared to the amount that aren't.
Yeah.
Like look at the Marvel ones, like you said, with like Scarlet Witch and Baby Groot. Like you have to go to events to do those. The only ones that are available to buy online are going to be the Deathlock and the Bifrost, and I think that's fine.
Exactly. That's what we're getting at. The buyables should be available online or at the convention, but the winnables no. So.
What about instead of just buying them off their website, they are winnable in stores for events?
I mean, that's fine too. Yeah, if they want to do like mini kits after say Gen Con after Origins, and you want to do like mini kits that you can ship out that you can try to do like that, I think that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, they could even set up like their own monthly OP kits, and actually like they need to be assigned to an event that needs ran instead of being able to purchase a bunch of them and then being able to just sell them.
Yeah. How do you feel about online BRs for charity events like H4H or Red, White, and cliX? Do they bring anything to the cause or just take away from the in-person event? Are they worth the trouble to run? Well, they're not doing them at H4H this year because they said that they're not worth it and they end up almost costing money. So sounds like they're not worth it. But there's a lot that goes into them because people have to code them all onto Roll20. You have to have somebody running them online. So it sounds like they're just not worth it. And if they're not worth it at H4H, I doubt they're going to be worth it for your event, Wes.
Yeah, they're not. It's very cost.
I was gonna say you've actually ran the mile, so you have more insight in this than I do.
Yeah. Yeah, the judge prices they're good. I ran it for 2 years. But it's rough. It's a lot, and plus you also got to look at you're dealing. It sucks because like we do have people like overseas, but like that's where you have to look at the cost and the cause, like, and then the time that's going to take for them to box up all that, because you got to remember like Scott Porter for those years, he was staying until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, making sure that all of those were signed. And so you're going to have people, and some of those got like insane, but yeah, you're going to have like people that want their signed stuff, and then you got to pay for international shipping. We have tariffs that are, have always been a thing for overseas for whenever you're shipping it internationally, as well as, so yeah, there's a lot that that goes into the logistics of that. That I don't think is really being taken into account.
Yeah, I know a couple people are going to miss out on it, but it's just not cost effective. All right, going to William Day Roker. What are your thoughts on the Phoenix Nest bystander? It's 10 points for sidestep, TK, barrier, leadership, but if everyone is playing it, everyone is vulnerable to rivalry and Mern. I think the bigger issue is really mastermind. The leadership is really good, being able to remove tokens on anybody that shares a keyword now. But I think mastermind really is the biggest issue, right? I'm sure there's going to be a couple of broken combos that come out of that.
What do you mean? Just like giving a keyword out so you can have any mastermind fodder?
Yeah, so anybody with mastermind can now mastermind pieces that you normally wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, but I feel like there's not that many that have most of the ones that are like you would think could be like, oh, that might be broken. Say like they can't be masterminded too. So.
But yeah, it doesn't hand out mastermind, so
no,
that's fine.
No, he's talking about just giving a keyword, so then you don't have to worry about point values anymore. You're just like, hey, you have a keyword that I have, I can mastermind to you.
You're
talking like
I mean, there was already like that with the 0-point pogs. I think the exact thing right there is that you're paying 10 points to be able to get Merned and rivalried. That's the biggest part. Do you really want to do that? Because rivalry's already getting played. Mern is about to be even played more, especially if people start playing this bystander. I think this bystander, when you look at the pros and cons,
are you thinking
being able
Are you thinking like the ranged mastermind uptick like Legacy APOC, or I think Doom he can only mastermind to the Doom bots, but are you talking is that what you're trying to get?
Well, no, he can mastermind to people within 4 that has the Minions of Doom.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay, but that's very specific. So
yeah,
I'm just saying if you start looking at this, I think there's going to be a couple of issues with the mastermind. But for all the exact reasons that he said, I think it's going to start out hot and then drop off really quick. But it's still a pretty cool bystander that I need.
Yeah, and if you're going to play him, you got to play him with Donnie Blaze and Prime Spider-Ham. You get that opposing demon, they can't attack you with Mern, so you're safe there.
That's hilarious. They have to attack the bystander.
Yep.
I think it's a super cool piece, but I think most of the time when stuff like this happens, it sees the uptick and then it sees the answer right after.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because what was the other it's like the Scott P.J. Lucas, it saw a ton of play, and then now it's kind of like hit or miss, honestly, as far as seeing it on teams.
Mm-hmm.
It still has a winning record, though.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not a good piece. It feels like
But there's also not a lot out there too.
Yeah.
You gotta think too. But yeah, and it's also not a new piece. Yeah.
This with Copycat seems a little rough.
25 points.
Copycat is a whole entire other can of worm he's addressed.
But 10 points and
15, so 25 for double barrier and double leadership and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, so 10 points to give her all of this stuff is quite a bit, because now she's going to also be able to sidestep TK and barrier. And she's going to share a keyword with everyone too, so there's your leadership on the people too. So
exactly.
Yeah, there's a lot there. All right, legally required wrestling question. You guys said on the podcast that after WrestleMania is a good time to start watching. I haven't watched wrestling since I was a kid. What are the shows out right now, and what are the differences between them? The Raw after WrestleMania was really good, but my time's really limited. So right now, I pretty much just catch up on Raws and watch the WWE pay-per-views and occasionally parts of the AEW pay-per-views. But Miles or Pete, do you guys want to go a little bit more in depth here?
Pete's probably up to date more than I am with the modern thing. I just watch the pay-per-views. I don't have time for the weeklies.
It really depends what you're looking for. Both wrestling companies offer something unique. If you want classic American wrestling and storytelling, you're not going to beat WWE. But if you're into it for the matches, and that AEW kind of does its own thing, you have to be super into it. They're not like telling Shakespearean stories most of the time. So if you just enjoy it for the mindlessness of the classic good versus evil, and you cheer your favorite guy and you hope or girl and you hope they win, and you just enjoy it and you enjoy the entertainment, that's kind of how I go into it. I agree, Raw after WrestleMania is amazing, but there's so much wrestling TV right now, it's hard to watch all of it.
I recommend, honestly, for Bill to jump into the lounge during an AEW pay-per-view.
That could be good. I think a big part of it, too, is enjoying it with people that also enjoy it.
Well, the AEW stuff that we've done in the lounge is like fun because we get Dan in there who doesn't know anything about wrestling, and just hearing his insight into it is hilarious.
Going to Jay Hyder. Hey guys, I've been listening since last year's Rock recaps. Shout out to Alberta, Canada. I love the energy that you all bring to the content creation side of HeroClix. Thank you for all your hard work. Thanks, Jay. My two questions are, do we think the new Destroyer armor or the Goblin Glider will see the same level of meta play as the motorcycle did after rotation? Destroyer armor, possibly even more than the motorcycles. A lot of that's going to probably be the qualifying keywords. But Goblin Glider, I just don't think it offers enough for 15 points. It doesn't have any keywords, but it's still a pretty neat piece to have.
I mean, it still gives good attack and defense powers. So
and flight. That's very important too.
Yeah, that's
and we're going to be losing the barrel most likely. So now you're looking at that. Now you don't have something that can stop your flight, and so giving out that flight is very important, I think.
So when motorcycle leaves, you guys both think that Goblin Glider is going to be worth putting on a lot of your teams for 15 points?
It's not going to see the same level of meta play, but I think that there's going to be some applications for Goblin Glider, and I think that if we're going to be moving to a more defensive meta, then you can for sure expect to see a ton of Destroyer armors.
I mean, like, the quick and easy answer is, like, look at how good the Goblin Glider makes Reverse Flash. You give him flight, and what that does, you give him precision strike and reflexes, so then he is a threat his whole dial.
But are you doing that more than any other equipment?
No, it's piece dependent. So it's like, hey, there's a good combo with this piece where the glider makes this piece insane. That's where that's usually how I feel like it is with most equipment. Is like, oh, well, this makes this amazing, so it's a good combo. Versus like, oh, it just makes it good. Like, another easy example is Captain Marvel with the motorcycle. The motorcycle makes her ridiculous because of her rollouts. So
let's say...
there's also, people are forgetting that even though the motorcycle and Hell Cycle are leaving Modern, we do have something new in Smash and Destroy. We have the motorbike. So there will always be a motorbike.
You talking about the terrain?
Yeah, I'm talking about the 1x2 terrain, yes.
All right, so rotation happens. We don't have motorcycles anymore. How frequently are you grabbing Destroyer armor versus Goblin Glider?
I think you can only play one Destroyer armor. I think you're going to be going with that for more defensive. And I think Goblin Glider gives you a lot for being offensive, giving you that flight. At post-rotation, you're not going to worry about the barrel. So now nothing's going to be able to shut down your flight. And so you're going to have figures like that Reverse Flash, like Dan said, he now has passenger. So now he can carry someone. He's going to get combat reflexes. So now he's a 20. He's going to have precision strike his entire dial.
But you're hypersonicking with him, and he already has precision strike. There's so many other things like the longsword, Bucky's arm, that make him better.
Understandable, but you're going to be giving him flight, so...
I'm also thinking of longevity, because yes, he has precision strike top dial, but he only has it for 3 clicks.
Yeah, he only has it for 3 clicks. No.
And now he's still got it instead.
Telling you, there's something there with the glider on a lot of figures.
All right. Well, I wait to see that being done then. Pete,
I would say flight and combat reflexes. That's huge.
Pete, where are you at with this one?
70-30. 70-30 armor to the glider. I think the glider absolutely has its place. But I think personally, I'm going to be reaching for the Destroyer Armor most of the time.
You're going to see the Destroyer
Although
Armor all the time from me. So
it's above 15 points, and we all know how I feel about that for equipment.
All right, well, I'm going to pay attention to how often we see the Goblin Glider because I just don't see it happening. And I'll be making a point of it.
Excuse me. 10 points. That's the cutoff.
10, yes.
Yes.
For
team,
team,
get it free.
which the Goblin Glider doesn't have any qualifying keywords, unfortunately.
I wasn't referring to the glider, but yes, I do. I wish it did have some keyword, even if it was a more skewed keyword. So
Right, I'm going to keep referring back to it because I just don't see it. I would have liked to see it say if it has Goblin in its name, includes Goblin in their name, then they can equip it for free. That seems fair.
I think that was a definite miss.
All right, going to question number 2. For team testing and map placement, do you prefer to use Roll20, Tabletop Sim, or sitting down in person? 100% of the time in person. I won't even entertain Roll20. It just doesn't feel the same, and I don't feel like I get anything out of it except for frustration.
Yeah, go ahead, Dan.
I've actually really grown on Roll20. I played a decent chunk with Lucas, and I played a chunk with Miles, and I actually like it for the tools it offers as like visual. Like I'm a very big visual learner, so it has tools as far as like line of fire and just it's a different like way to display the game, and from a point of view of like like looking at how many squares and things and counting calculating your distances to either like be able to land the hit or stuff like that, or calculate your how much reach do they have, stuff like that. It offers a different thing, and I like it from a technical perspective. And so I use a combination of that and in person, like my own stuff at home here, to like placement tests and stuff like that, just to see how something, like if I'm looking at let me try how my team plays on this map, like how good does it fare on bunker, because that's a popular map and I need to know how I survive on it. So stuff like that. But yeah, I mean I use a little bit of both. I've never used tabletop sim, so
Tabletop sim is probably the hardest. Roll20 I like because of its simplicity. If you have a team idea, you can just go onto Roll20. The maps are simple, and then you can lay it out without having to lay out all of your things. It also simplifies the maps that way, because certain maps like the Tangle, if you've never seen that before, like you're just like, what's going on? And with Roll20, you're able to see a simplified version to be able to see what the map exactly is, and to be able to walk yourself through that, and then you can go into the in person. But yeah, the map placement and the team testing, for sure, I got to go with Roll20 because I'm just able to put my teams in two positions on the map against other teams just a lot easier without making a mess.
Man, we're really split today. Pete, where are you at with this?
I won't play virtual. I don't have to. I'm very fortunate because our group is so good locally that I don't have to. We tried Roll20, and when it was the only thing going, I played a couple tournaments on it. I just don't. It takes away a lot of the fun of the game for me because I like the pieces, I like the maps, I like all that stuff. So I won't. I'm with Redmond on this one.
Oh, I'm not even saying like I'm not necessarily saying like I use it to play a ton of games. Like I do with like Miles to get practice if we can, because obviously Miles isn't local. But it's more of a tool for just visualization, as like a different form of displaying the team in the map, and just trying to see, okay, well, how do I navigate a map? Like that's basically how I use it. Is just a visual aid to go, hey, um, this works really well on this map. Okay, cool. Or if I place this way, I could get screwed if like off my alpha off the next turn. So those are more what I use it for, is something like that, than just a practice match.
I think my favorite thing about Roll20 is right before you start, Roll20 decides who's going to roll 1 through 3 and who's going to roll 10 through 12 for the entire game. It's terrible.
That is unfortunately because it is initially D&D based, I think. So there's like a curve, unfortunately.
There's a curse.
That's why I got pop dice. I like the authentic Roll20 feel. And I think if you started using pop dice, Redman, I think you would then be able to enjoy Roll20.
Get out of here. All right, going to Paul Cote. What did you think of Mania? I thought Io's, Dominic's, and Seth's matches were good enough to make it an above average Mania, but the internet seems to hate it. Those were all, I think, the really good matches. I was pretty sad about the Cena Cody match. Rock's not getting involved was a huge miss. And a lot of the matches honestly ended up having a person that I don't find interesting, at least one, if not both. So unfortunately, there were a lot of misses, but the really good matches were really good. I thought that the Io's triple threat match was probably one of the best triple threat matches I've seen, actually. And that four-way match with Dominic and him winning was really good. And then that main event from night one with Seth, Roman, and Punk was awesome.
So you hit the nail on the head right there. There's just not a lot of charisma or people that can don't feel larger than life, and it's so hard to get invested in people that you just don't care about.
Yeah.
And even good matches feel serviceable because you can't get invested. Their character work is non-existent, and so yeah. The main event, I had to rewatch because I quit watching night one after I think it was the third match. I'm like, I'm done. This is just dumb. It really lost me. And then night two picked up. John Cena did what John Cena told you he was going to do. He's going to make wrestling not fun. So, but still, it's it could have been handled a lot better. And then The Rock coming out and saying that his story was done because he wanted Cody to turn heel, and Cody vetoed that behind the scenes. It's that takes away from what wrestling is. We don't need, I know people like to listen to Busted Open. Yeah, I just like wrestling, and just I like to think of it as, as real. And it's so hard nowadays because of the kayfabe and everything, and it makes it hard to get invested. And that's why I always go back to the old stuff. Because at least back then, I can pretend like it was real back then, just because of where my mind was and how the industry was handled back
then. Mm-hmm. Dan, did you get to watch any of it or no?
I watched day 2, and I completely agree with what Miles said. Honestly, it was not what I expected, especially like the Cena heel turn was interesting to watch, when it initially happened. I really did not like how that match ended between him and Cody, to be fair. It was just, I don't know. That wasn't how I wanted to see him win. Was it number 7, or was it 17?
17, yeah.
It didn't. I
Yeah,
don't know.
the fake replica hardcore title was just really
Well, it wasn't
was
even that.
so
It was
over the top
also
and just so dumb.
it was also how he beat Cody too. It just didn't. I don't know. It just didn't feel like the right way to do it. I guess I don't know. That was just my interpretation of it.
It needed The Rock.
Well, it also just it didn't feel clean. Like even with the Cena heel turn, it just didn't feel good to cheap shot him basically, and then hit him with the belt and everything else that happened. So
yeah.
Oh, I'm totally fine with that. I've seen title changes like that, but it's how it was executed that was just poorly done.
Right.
It was built with The Rock, and the fact that we had whatever his name is show up instead of The Rock was just Travis Scott or whatever the hell his name is. It's the most ridiculous. The hardcore title's the ugliest belt possible, I thought, until I saw the replica of it. That made it even look worse.
Yeah, it just felt like I don't know, something was taken from you when he came out and The Rock did not come out at all. It just felt all like you were played, I guess.
You guys are rough.
What do you got on this?
I thought it was a B. I thought, yeah, I'd give it a B overall.
B for
the
bad.
The thing with WrestleMania is it's so mainstream that's what they're really trying to get is that audience. I will say one thing. I really can't figure out what Travis Scott's involvement in the main event did. I thought it kind of honestly took away from one of the most important moments in wrestling history, a 17-time champion. Like now he's the all-time greatest champion ever. Like
Yeah, but
16
Dan as
time.
casual, I think just tells you exactly what it is. That because when he was agreeing with me about how there's no investment because there's no charisma or larger than life outside of a handful, and most of them are in their 40s. Like you're not
I
going to get a
really
casual fan that's going to be able to care about these characters that they're trying to portray because they're not portraying characters anymore. They're trying to portray themselves, which is not good.
I really enjoyed the McIntyre match. I thought that was just absolutely
That was a great one.
phenomenal and brutal. Um,
Yeah.
if people have watched a lot of Gunther Walter, he's always been booked as this brutal wrestler that has lost many times to submission moves. So I thought that was kind of a neat callback to long-term storytelling with him. Um, I thought the Joe Hendry thing was wildly fun.
Yeah, but the Gunther thing was, if you look at the match where he lost to that submission, was against what, Ilya Dragunov. It
Yes.
was a long, hard fought battle, and like the 5 seconds before the tap out was just, it didn't seem earned because
He
I
tapped so
realized what they were trying to do,
fast.
the callback. It he he wasn't like exhausted to the point where it's like I have to tap. It was just like, what? Really?
Yeah.
Like he was pounding Jay, and he had him in a sleeper for what it felt like 5 minutes.
I liked it. I watched both nights, and I didn't feel like I wasted my time tremendously. There was only a couple of matches where I went up to go to the bathroom or make a pizza. So
All right, going to question number 2. If you were to play Wakanda Buster, what would you team him up with? Probably Beetlejuice, because it means I'm an asshole that hates the game, fun, and wants my opponent to have a miserable time playing as well.
First off, you need to put Frenchie on him. If you're already 125 points, you might as well throw another 25 in there. Make a vehicle theme. You're gonna have to protect him, so unfortunately, you're gonna have to play him with Ghost Rider. They can't outwit him. And you're probably not going to score a lot of points.
Dan,
I'm just not a fan of that whole entire strategy because it's we've seen it in tournaments multiple times. It's just low scoring and just nothing happens and just feels like a waste of an hour.
Yep, and it
It's
ends
real.
up not winning.
It's a real bummer too because I really enjoy Wakanda, and like he now is just like, oh, well, all my Wakanda stuff doesn't pair well with him because it's a bunch of free actions to make vibranium and stuff and use
No,
the
he does.
vibranium.
No, it's just your opponents. You can do as many frees as you want.
I
It's just
guess.
limiting your opponent.
I guess. I don't know. Like, yeah, I don't really know what to put with him honestly, just because of the fact that like he is a giant and yeah, he's a single base, which is good. At least he has stealth, so that there is a benefit there. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I haven't really looked at him to be fair. I have one, but I honestly
Yeah, I haven't. It's just I'm too much of an aggressive player to really because he's not really a piece that you're going to want to be aggressive with because he only has that power for 3 clicks.
yeah.
And so it's really hard for me to build around a piece like that that's not aggressive.
I mean,
It's like I
those are pretty solid 3 clicks. Isn't that charge flurry, or am I like completely?
well it is, but yeah, like, if you're aggressive with him, like you don't even all you need to do is use their one free to outwit him.
Yeah.
So that's and
Well, oh well, I guess
yeah.
with that, with Galactus coming back, you could do that.
Well, then Galactus is your only sideline element.
I mean, Power Cosmic's pretty good. So, or you could, I mean, he's giant, so that doesn't work. But yeah, I would say like just the
But no,
way to
that's what I mean though is that's your only sideline. You can't do anything else with your sideline.
I mean, that's probably fine. Galactus is pretty solid. So,
Yeah, but with one shots and everything, because you're going to want fortify. If you want to be defensive, yeah, there's the rivalry. It's really tough to just say I'm going with so many good mimic, especially too, with that. Because now if you not have mimic, now it's like okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and pick up my objects. Your one shots are gone. It's really tough to just limit your sideline for just one, even if Galactus is good.
Yeah, that's fair.
So you heard it here first, Paul. Wakanda Buster, Beetlejuice, Frenchie, and Galactus on the sideline. All right, going to McConnell Lamar. Hey everyone, I hope you're all well. The prizing for Origins looks awesome. Do you think we are seeing the return of factory sets in prizing for large events? I'd love that because that's probably like the top prize, wouldn't you say? That's like the best thing that you can win besides just straight up cash.
I think so, unless they introduce something else. Yeah, but I would think like a factory set of something is amazing just because you get.
I'm not sure if anything can really top a factory set.
No, that's what I mean. I don't know what they can introduce to top a factory set. I'm just like maybe they could come up with something.
I guess it really just comes out down to like how new that factory set is, but overall, factory sets are great. So I do hope that they're top prizes.
I mean, it's.
No, you don't want to play for Empire when it rotates. You don't want to play for like Empire the day before it rotates.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at. That part's rough.
I was thinking that it also depends on what set is being given away as a factory set, because like, what was it? Was it Rise and Fall that did not have like the greatest chase theme? It was like they were kind of rough. So, but that was a very like specific set. Like I don't really.
Rise and Fall Empire and like outside of like two pieces.
Yeah.
From Empire.
Going to number 2. If the dates hold, we should be getting a minute until the next set releases, Lantern Legacy. What are you looking forward to playing in the meantime? I'm actually, now that we have a bunch of modern sets, I actually do hope we do get a couple months off now. I'm looking forward to a lot of Spider-Verse and Smash and Destroy, Sinister Syndicate, Asgardians, Wrecking Crew, Brotherhood. That's another one that I really want to play. They got that Toad with Magneto, and got a couple Juggernauts to choose from now. All seem really different and fun.
I'm actually in a lull right now with Smash and Destroy. I'm been trying to figure out if I'm going to pivot from plants or not. I'm really liking the symbiote Red Hulk at 125. Like I really, really like him at that point value.
He's cool.
Yeah, I think there's really something there with the 4-stop flick.
And the 4 pilots.
Yeah.
Yeah. 4 attacks powers and 4 damage powers. Now I know people like say they wish that you could get both, and that would be near broken if you were able to choose 4 attack powers and 4 damage powers at the same time. Because his keywords are just all over the place, and you can get literally any combination of anything you want.
I think it's going to take some time, but I think there's definitely some potential there.
Wait. He can totally get all 4. What are you talking about? He gets all 4.
No, you choose attack or damage.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so you're still getting 4 of something, which is amazing.
Yeah, I know, and I know some people like wish that he was able to choose both the attack and damage power, and I'm like, that'd just be way too powerful, honestly.
Well, and they upgraded him quite a bit because now he's got Power Cosmic on top of Mystics. He didn't have that before, and he's still got the good improved movement he used to have. I mean, he's real good.
I think so too.
And he can be equipped, so I mean, he can easily just like for free. You're already getting the +1 longsword just for free, so.
Are you looking forward to anything else though, Miles?
Green Scar, of course. I'm a huge. I played that piece a ridiculous amount of times when it was modern. So at 230 points, so I can only imagine what I can do with it 75, or should I say 90?
So you're actually looking forward to more legacy pieces than the newer stuff coming out.
Yeah, if I had to look at like there is a rare that I'm looking at. I didn't really want to go delve too deep into it, but the rare Giant Man 2, I really like the possibilities. I think Goliath needs to be dealt with. Once we get to the Kerr review and everything, I'll delve more into those.
Okay, yeah, we'll get into that pretty soon here. Dan, what are you looking forward to playing?
I mean, you stole my Asgardian shtick, which I thought was kind of funny. I was like, wait a second, what?
We can both enjoy Asgardians. It's okay.
Let's see. I want to give my green door another go. Like Red Harvey just is. I really want to see if I can get all 6 dice on that card. Because I got close with Doc Sasquatch. I had 5 dice. So let's see. The legacies too. I mean, I'm excited to play Maestro. Maestro looks like he's a lot of fun. Um, I want to try the Destroyer at 270. He's another one of those that's just like I don't think he's gonna be a competitive piece, but he just looks like a heck of a lot of fun. Um, and like some of the other oddballs, like Quicksand's got a dope sculpt, so I would like to see her on a team, especially with the one shot that just gives you charge. So that seems pretty neat. And then I mean, just like there's just a bunch of this stuff in the set that does unique things. So I think that's the biggest thing for me. Is just stuff like that. So
Yeah, I'm glad we got a bunch of these sets in a row, but I'm excited to play what we have now. Pete,
yeah,
what
I'm really excited to have a break now with like Legacy and X-Men '97 for a bit.
Well, yeah, once those come out, I'm going to be focused on those because I'm excited for both those. Pete, what are you looking at before Lantern Legacy?
I'm really excited about Smash and Destroy. I'm excited for a little bit of a break just to kind of enjoy what we have. Obviously, our set review is coming, and so we'll get into a lot more things during that. But there's a lot to like in Smash and Destroy.
Yeah, I'm trying to hold off on talking about it too much, but I really want to.
Yeah, I mean, I could fawn over this set because it's just like, ooh, a bunch of fun stuff that I'm really gonna enjoy playing.
What are your thoughts on all of the convention exclusives that have been previewed, the figure selection, dials, and the fact that many of them have the 2024 collector's numbers? Yeah, obviously there's a backlog there. I wish we would have gotten them all last year because I feel like last year ended up seeming a little light, right? Or there was just like a big lull in them. I don't know. It felt weird.
We did start to see 2025 LEs because we saw the Black Suit Spidey free comic book day figure.
Is that the only one though? I feel like it is.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think it is the only one besides the Phoenix bystander, but yes.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if these ones are going to change to 2025, like how Death Metal Wonder Woman was changed to a 2022.
I don't know.
A few others, because
yeah, I think it's still based off of their worlds. They just need to see 3 worlds then, right?
Yeah.
Do you think we will see a bunch of new 2025s LEs at Worlds? I hope they start showing up then because that's really the next chance we might see new LEs at. I'm not sure how many other events are going to be between Origins and Worlds that would see LEs.
I don't know. Maybe they might. I mean, you never know. It also depends if they have any. I don't. Well, yeah. I guess they're not really running any other events in between. Then I don't know.
Like even if there's like states or something like that, nothing else is going to see brand new things. I don't think until Worlds.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So maybe we just see like a huge backlog of what we were supposed to get earlier in the year for 2025.
I mean, I wouldn't be mad at a big like chunky amount of buyables at Worlds. That's cool.
I really like the idea of Alpha Flight as the LEs.
That would be cool.
So I like seeing that.
Oh, because of Puck. Yeah.
Yeah, like I want to see like Aurora and North Star and yeah.
We are so overdue for Alpha Flight.
We are. But I mean, Absorbing Man and Titania have Alpha Flight, which is cool.
And I think Captain Marvel does too.
Yeah.
She usually gets it. Yeah. It's pretty much just Captain Marvel and Sasquatch that gets it now.
I was gonna say because I was gonna say Doc Sasquatch got it too. He got Alpha Flight as well.
Oh, that's right.
Well, yeah, he was with the team with Absorbing Man and Puck and Titania.
Yep.
I think a few others.
All right, going to Adam Majewski. What is it like pulling only rares at every pre-release you go to, Ryan Ribman? When will the curse be broken? I've actually had a couple of good events, but yeah.
Well, what are you talking about? Because whatever you pulled Saturday got you to like what, second place? I think.
Yeah, and it was two rares, and no, I think it was. I ended up getting fourth. I played Jeremy, who was in first, at
okay.
in the last match. But he just rocked me. He had so he had quicksand, rhino, what is it? I forget what his name is. He's right here. Zax.
Mm-hmm.
And and constrictor. So yeah, he ran through me pretty quick. I ended up playing Zax at full, and who else? Zax at full, Wave, who she's pretty fun. She does a decent amount, but the damage kind of hurts if you're not rolling those blades well. And then I played that Hawkeye just for some range, and one more piece. What did I have? It was Thunderball.
Okay.
Was the other piece, and like they were all fun to play. Like it wasn't the best pulls, but at least they were fun, because there's been plenty of times that I pull like that, and I ended up not playing my other rare, which was Goliath, just because he didn't really work with the rest of what I was trying to do.
I just mean like they actually carried pretty well for placement.
The same thing as like when you're golfing, like when you golf with a handicap, or if you go bowling. So we'll use bowling as this analogy. You and Adam are bowling, and you don't need bumpers because you can make the rares work. And unless he pulls super rares, like he's the bumper guy because he can't make it work without super rares or chases. So I think that's the real story that he's told here, is that he's the bowler that uses bumpers.
I will say that I think Pete might be taking my title of the person that pulls more rares more frequently now.
Oh, I can't even tell you the last time I pulled above a rare in a sealed event. It's probably been 6 or 7 sets.
I was gonna say I had a bad string for a while there, but these last 4 have been like complete turnaround for me, so I can't talk at all.
Oh wait, that's not true. The collector's trophy, I pulled a chase, the one. So yeah, past that, it's been a little rough.
Now, can we agree though that the worst pulls is Dalton?
Oh, yeah, Dalton.
He's had it rough.
Yeah, poor Dalton. But luckily, the CURs from the last couple sets have been good, so it hasn't been completely impossible.
Yeah.
If this set though, Smash and Destroy is any look into the future, this set is just really well done and very fun to play the lower stuff. So I don't mind it then, because even when you're able to put together like a fun team with the rares, it's still worth it.
Well, you said like even though you played just a bunch of like uncommons and that, like you said you still had 3 perplex on your team. I was like, that's baller for having just playing like uncommons and rares.
Yeah, and they were all like fun pieces to play. Like Zax was fun, Wave was really fun, and then Thunderball was a lot of fun, and even Hawkeye was fine just because you had to try to position some certain things, and his attack was good. So they all kind of worked and did their own thing. I thought it was really cool. And everyone that I played against, like their pieces were different, because that's another thing too, that even in the last few sets, you're playing a lot of the same pieces, but there were so many different things that I saw every game I played, and they all did something. Nobody was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna punch you. Like they all do something, which is what I like. All right, going to Matthew Vanderloop. When team building, how do you determine if you should scrap the idea altogether or if it's just something that needs tweaking? Sometimes, even after practicing with an idea, it's difficult to tell if a few changes would make it better or if it's not a good enough concept. Yeah, a lot of times I know after that first game, if it's just super clunky and I don't like it, it's just gone. If it does a general idea of what I want it to do, but I just feel like I'm missing a couple things and some things didn't perform how I wanted to, I can take some stuff off and add some things and then kind of keep going with it. But there's definitely times where if it's just super clunky, it just gets scrapped.
Yep. I always look at what is being played. So you're going to look at like, how's it going to deal with the collector team, Ghost Rider. You're going to look to see exactly like what's being played and how's it handled. And like you said, if it feels clunky, like an idea can look great on paper, but like when you actually put it on the map and it's clunky, then it's time to scrap it.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough because it's different for everybody because play styles are different. So I can be sent a team that I'm not feeling it because it's not my style. But if someone can get it to work, then kudos to them. but I always just try to build around what is being played and like how I would handle everything. And even if it's not like I can't beat it, but if at least I have a strategy on how I can deal with it and at least give my team a chance, I feel like that's usually good enough for the most part.
Mm-hmm. Dan?
I have a good example because I played a new team last night, and I would tweak, honestly, Supergirl. She performed, I'd say, the weakest out of the whole team. But it was just a different team, and I would need to practice with it a little bit more. But I think that would be where that was an easily identifiable as far as like out of the 3 games that I played. That and the hilariously Fortify, like either it got chair panthered or people were just like, I'm just gonna do 3 damage every time, and so like I never got to use it because I never actually got hit for 4 damage, and then was able to.
No, Supergirl is one of those figures that is so much better on paper. It's insane.
I
It's
love
crazy.
her. I mean, I loved her for the I just see through everything. Like that was great. But she is very just killable, unfortunately, which sucks. But
Yeah.
I really like her. I wish there was a way I could get her to work a little bit better. Maybe there was something down the road that's like, oh, this is awesome. But yeah, she was the thing that was the weakest link out of that team, honestly.
So right now, would you say that you ditch her or just equip her with something else?
I would probably swap her out for something else. I don't know what that other thing is right now, but that is my thought. Is I'd probably swap her out for something else.
Okay. Pete, what about you? Again, I know you're building.
I normally know the second game because the first game I forget half of what my team does. So by the end of the second game, that's when I know it's time to either move on or start tweaking. But it's difficult to say. I don't usually scrap my idea completely. I try it for a couple of times, and then when I'm 100% satisfied, it's not going to work. But it also depends what we're doing. Like meta stuff, I'll tend to stick with a little longer until I give up on my idea. But that's basically it. But at least a couple games would be my answer.
Okay. All right, going to Anthony Barnstable has some questions about Origins here. What do you think about the Team Sealed Championship compared to the Team Sealed? So I was a big fan of the Team Sealed they ran at Adepticon. It was just 3 rounds and you're done. One of the biggest complaints I have about Team Sealed being the main event for any given day is that it prevents you from playing anything else. And if things don't go well, there's not a whole lot of other things to do. So I actually preferred just the 3 and done. I'm sure that there's plenty of people that like the Team Sealed Championship better. But yeah, the Team Sealed Championship, that's where, you're playing to top cut and all that. But what about you guys?
Yeah, most of the time for sure. Click Camp, we're doing the I guess technically the Team Sealed Championship format where we're doing the Swiss and the T cut, but that's just mainly because we're trying to get people that normally wouldn't want to play clicks, so chip. So yes, but normally I would agree. I think that if there's other side events like going on, then yeah, that's what makes it hard, especially if you get a bad brick. But like from what I've seen with Smash and Destroy, and if this is the set, then it's like I think that I could do 5 rounds of Swiss or 4 rounds of Swiss, whatever, and then make it to cut. But 9 times out of 10, I'm always going to go for the 3, because then I mean I can go ahead and do battle royals after 3 rounds. It makes your day not drag if you have a bad brick.
Right. It doesn't feel like you're missing out on a whole day if you're done after 3 rounds anyway.
Yeah.
And they prized it out really good. I think for the most part, even if you went 0-3, you still got some cool stuff for going 0-3.
Yeah.
Dan, do you have a preference?
So the one time I'll take like the sealed championship is the like worlds. But
Yeah.
otherwise I actually really like the what was it, the 3 rounds thing at or format at Adepticon. I thought that was really solid actually for the timing. So I would like to do that again, but except for, like I said, Worlds is different. I want the full day of rounds cut out of Swiss, and then get to the championship. So
Yeah. How do you feel about premium BRs? So those are the ones that they're adding a chase booster to the prize pool, which I think is awesome because now you're guaranteed that someone's going to get a chase into that prize pool because there's plenty of battle royales where everybody gets a rare and you're just like, this is going to be a long battle royale.
yeah, I think that's a great additive to the prize pool for BRs. That's awesome.
And that's entirely sort of part of the question with Rob is that you're going to have those leisure players that they're not going to really ever be able to compete for those chase boosters because that they aren't going to be able to play competitively. And unfortunately, if you do sealed or any other events, it's going to be competitive. And so this is a perfect opportunity for those players to compete and have a chance to win these prizes that normally they would never be able to actually compete for and win, or they don't have to waste money to buy it. So I think it's great to have that as a prize. And like you said, I mean, how many times has there been battle royals with not even a super rare? So
honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing premium BRs just be BRs now. And yeah, you just pay a little bit more and there's a chase booster there. You're guaranteed to leave happy. I will say, though, that the pricing at Adepticon for BRs was pretty good, too.
Oh, yeah, it was solid pricing.
But I would definitely pay a little bit more money to have a chase booster in every single one. There's more stuff to draft for everybody. So,
yeah.
And for this example right here, if there were premium BRs and BRs, I would never do a regular BR if premium BRs existed. How do you feel about the scheduled times for BRs for someone competing for BR champion? Are they not spaced out that well? Because I feel like if you're going there to be the BR champion, you're just only doing BRs anyway, right? So that's just all you're scheduling yourself for?
That's what Adepticon. I know we had Jalen competing for a few days, but then was it who ended up winning it? I forgot.
Ricardo, maybe?
Yeah, I think it was Ricardo. Yeah, and he was there to just do BRs. So the scheduling, I don't think, really mattered to him because he was there to win.
Yeah, you just
BR
set
champion.
up every hour or whatever it was, every hour and a half.
Yeah, so that was his. He made that schedule work, and I think that if you're going in for a BR champion, that's fine.
Yeah, if that's
you're
the
not
case.
going to really sign up for other events.
Yeah, if that's the case, I don't think there's anything to change.
Because I got lucky, like someone gave me their BR ticket because they were like, "Hey, I got double booked," and so if you want to go play a BR, I was like, "Oh, okay." I think that was the one thing I ran into that I saw happened a couple times, but that was about it. So I think that might be the only scheduling snafu is if you're signed up for other things.
But would they be trying to compete for a BR champion at that point if they've?
I don't think so. That was just something I noticed during those BRs at Adepticon.
Yeah, I think if you're trying to be the BR champion, that's literally all you're doing. So I don't think anything else is going to get in your way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fine because all it's doing is if you're going to have people that are going to be able to do the BRs to become BR champion as well as potentially win a modern event. I think that not being able to allow that to happen, I think is better for the people that played there for BRs. So it makes sense that, they're there because they're playing BRs all the time and that's how they're BR champion and winning.
Right.
So, I like the distinction that there is conflicting schedules because of that. You need to either decide to be BR champion or you're going to compete in modern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the point system for the BR champion leaderboard? I think for the most part it worked out pretty well, right? The final came down to it was Abraham and Ricardo, right? What was the biggest thing? I think just Ricardo scored more points overall.
It was the
win. No, he placed
placement.
better. He didn't.
Yeah, he placed better. Yep.
Abraham had more points, but he placed better. Which honestly, I think that's probably the right way to do it.
Yeah.
Because it depends on the people you sit down with. Like if the game isn't scoring points or the pieces that you pick aren't scoring points, you can't just hope to score points. Otherwise, everyone's gonna be working together to score points.
Anytime you do something like that, I like more factors into the overall like scoring metric. So them using multiple different things like how many times you played, like your placement, and I think it was points too or something like that, or points scored.
Well, you got 4 points. That is a tiebreaker, but 4 points for first, 3 for second, 2 for third, and 1 for fourth.
I think they upped it to 6, or I think it was 6, wasn't it, for winning?
Yeah, much better. Yeah, like you said though, because people would just be farming points. Like someone can not win a single BR and have the most points. Meanwhile, you're gonna have somebody that played in 16 BRs and went 15-1, and because they didn't get a lot of points, like they're not the BR champions. Like they won more BRs. That's kind of the whole entire point of champion.
Right.
Exactly.
Not points. Yeah. How do you feel about the 300 modern side events? So that was, what were they? 3 rounds and 16 people. I actually like these a lot, except I would like to see them sprinkle in more fun things. Again, like theme. That's another thing that I would like to see more of again. But have a little bit more of different build restrictions. 300 modern is pretty much everywhere, so I don't think we need more just plain 300 modern, right? I would like to see something else go along with that, like theme or some kind of fun thing like that.
I mean, like our duos event was a lot of fun. Like, I mean, I'd love to see something like that tried. So, but it's just it definitely the side events is good. Yeah, I agree. It's just it needs to be more unique type of things.
Yeah, I would just like to see something different. Like if I'm playing 300 in competitive modern, I don't necessarily want to also go play just regular 300 modern, not competitively on the same day or the next day. So let me build something fun where, I can relax a little bit more. Because there's plenty of people that are going to be playing their competitive teams in that 300 modern side event.
Yeah.
Are there any event formats that are missing in your opinion? Any events you would change from how they are being run to something a little bit different? What changes would you like to see next year? Well, actually, that's pretty much what we just talked about. So I want to see theme and then either like a 2v2 or constructed 3v3.
Yeah, I'm down with those. I like those a lot. I love what we did with the 2v
the duos thing. That was a lot of fun. Yep. I would honestly like to see that get picked up in an official format.
Yep. I also like what we did in New Orleans with the 2v2 sealed. That was fun too. Like it was a different take on it, but that was just I enjoyed it too. It just was one of those where it was the first draft, so it can be improved. And I know Aaron is looking at it, so.
Yeah, there was a couple things, just like the point values or the point builds or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I would say they want to try and push pulp or even like the peasant format, like I said, with commons and uncommons with no sidelines. But when I think about it, there is a common Thanos, and so that just makes that format just not fun. So
you just have to know about those pieces, though. Like they made that ruling at New Orleans, which was huge, and you could only play Thanos at 150. Like that is one of those moves where that saves the event.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he was still very good. Like, he just was different.
They're doing like new players, like trying to get new players in, like doing the what they have the learn to play. I think it'd be really cool, like if they had like a peasant format that was just uncommons and commons, no sideline, and you use that format to really get somebody into the game, and then slowly move up to pulp you add the rare, and then that's how you're going to. I would like to see that to maybe try and get more people to maybe play.
Yes, I would like to see that as well. Even like the 300 modern side events that we were just talking about, I think that would be cool. If you're only gonna be locked into 3 rounds, doing just like a common uncommon 300 modern or something. That would be cool.
Sideline, just make it simple. Yeah, it's just.
I'd rather play in that than a for fun modern that someone can just bring their competitive team at and smash everybody.
Yeah, and it's even not as powerful as pulp, because if you eliminate the sideline and just do those two, like there's figures that like I would purposely try and play just to see how it played, because I'm never really gonna ever play them outside of a BR.
Right. How do you feel about the prizing for each event? Break down each one separately. We did break down all the pricing. I think all of it's looking really good this year by far, starting with probably Adepticon. I think the pricing has just increased dramatically.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any one that I would say that this isn't worth it because of the pricing, right? That we went over in the beginning.
No,
No, that team field, like we went 2-1 and felt like we got our money's worth. And then, in modern making top 8 I felt like, was good enough.
I mean, even going 0-3, we still got stuff which felt good because man, I've had times where I've had just a rough day like that and gotten nothing, and oof, those days are rough where you're like, I tried and got absolutely nothing. So that was still good even with having a tough day.
And then, what features of Adepticon 2025 are most important to see appear at Origins 2025, and what new things should be implemented at Origins that were not done at Adepticon? Let's see.
Keep using units.
Oh yeah, that's a huge thing right there. Keep using HC units to run the events.
Yes.
Honestly, there was a lot of stuff done at Adepticon that was just done really right, I think. I did not have a whole lot of issues with Adepticon. That was the smoothest run event. Everything was just really good.
I really
it's hard to say like what needs implemented because I'm guessing like that's going to be the new formula for events, so you can't really compare it.
The biggest thing is like, and this isn't not necessarily something they can control, but I think what I liked about Adepticon was like food and or drink was easily accessible. So like even if it was a long day, it was like cool. Let me go grab something to drink to keep myself hydrated for this long, like 5 rounds of Swiss. So I think that's a big thing for me, but that's not 100% in their control. So like I understand that, but that's something I enjoyed out of Adepticon was where we were in the hall.
I would like to see every event have some sort of representation for silver, modern, and a teams event. I wouldn't mind seeing more constructed team things though, like we were just again talking about, like the duos or 2v2 or constructed 3v3. But I do like the things that they're trying new. The modern side events that we just talked about, that 300, if they would just change that a little bit so that it's a little bit different and more fun to build for. I think that wraps it up for me on that.
Yeah, I definitely agree there.
I just like to see silver, and I like anything teams constructed. That's fun. So those things are things I'd like to see going forward.
Mm-hmm. All right, and then last we have Mork Bird. I'm sure they've been discussed already, but I'm excited to see the new LEs. How long do you think we'll get releases? How long do you think we'll get releases of deceased figures as LEs? If you know the storyline of deceased, which characters are you most hoping to receive a figure? If not, what DC figure are you most excited to see? If not, what DC figure would you like to see as an undead zombie? Wait a minute. Which character are you most hoping to receive a figure? And if not, what DC figure would you most like to see as a zombie? Oh, I read that what non-DC figure. I really want a zombie blob-eating wasp, but I know that's not DC. That's what I need, though. That's my number one zombie want right there.
My zombie is Chip. I've read Deceased, and I love the Batman Deceased just because he steals Mr. Freeze's outfit costume. So
great.
And that was already made.
I think mine is coming is the deceased Hal Jordan. That was pretty neat. So it's not going to be deceased because it's going to be. I'm assuming she'll be in Lantern Legacy, but you never know. Was the Black Canary where she got the lantern or she got Hal's ring after she Sonic screamed and obliterated him. Basically, I'm pretty sure.
Anyone else?
John's the Martian Manhunter as the deceased version would be awesome.
Oh, did he get it? Did he get deceased too?
Oh,
I
yeah.
couldn't remember if he did or not. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That story was everybody died for the most part.
I'm gonna give us a cyborg that gives everybody a deceased.
How old is the storyline?
Ooh, it's what?
10 years?
No, deceased can't be that old.
2015, right?
No, I thought it was 2018 or 2019.
2019. Okay, I was off years, whatever.
Did we get a deceased
Still,
Aquaman yet? I don't think so. Just
we
the
have
Black
not.
Lantern, right?
Yeah.
I think that would be neat.
Did we get Deceased Flash? I don't think we did, right? That'd probably be a
No.
good one.
Yeah, that's one I'm surprised we haven't got because he was kind of the major launching point for a lot of people going down.
Well, it was Cyborg and him. It was those two basically.
Yeah.
But give me blob eating wasp. Number 2, just a brief shout out to Pete for his consistent deadpan delivery of the Bookwood report. It never ceases to bring joy. Well, unfortunately, it won't be going away anytime soon, so continue to enjoy it, Mork. Do you want to add to that, Pete?
No, man. The fact that the Bookwood report has taken off as much as it has and people like it is a great compliment. Thanks, Mark.
Yeah, that's what
I know Bookwood really is committed to it too.
It's taken on its own life.
You might even say that Bookwood's click famous.
You may.
It's great now because Bookwood comments on sales posts, and people are commenting, "Oh, great, we're getting spoilers from the Bookwood report."
That is pretty great, actually.
That is probably the best part is when you get stuff like that. I'm like, man, that was quick.
And then additional shout out to Wes for consolidating his questions into one response for this podcast. On that note, where's Francis? Dan, how easy was it to gather all the questions into one nice place today?
It was a lot it was very simplistic, so I am appreciative because I am the one that gathers them all up and throws them up so we can go over them every time we record.
So thanks for making that a little easier today, Wes. We do appreciate your questions, though.
Yes,
Smash.
Mork never stopped being great.
Smash and Destroy has been a contentious hit or set within the community with a fair volume of reused sculpts. Do you feel the BC Onards slots was overdone, or for this set, I'm a fan of the old shifting focus ability, so nice to see it returning in effect with Batman and Masters of Time, and now Absorbing Man and Taskmaster, but not sure about BC Onward. Oh, that's what he said before, just mistyped. Onward collector numbers, 4 figures with completely different names. Honestly, I don't know what I would change with this set. It's pretty well thought out, and there's so much good stuff. And the ABCs are all different mechanics. Either it's like straight up different characters, or like we have the Absorbing Mans or the Hulks. Like there's all these different mechanics that go with the ABCs. So nothing really seems negative, I guess.
I was gonna say, has this really been contentious? Like, I didn't have any issue with it whatsoever as far as.
Well, the sculpt reuse, but like the Absorbing Man, like I know a lot of people like wanted a more dynamic, and like no, the simple. I love the Absorbing Man, the simple sculpts. It just makes it easy.
To me, it makes more sense, and like they did. Yeah. I mean, the sculpts are at least more. I would say like the just the whatever like plastic and effects they're using as far as like texture is a lot better than it used to be. So. Yeah. Like that Absorb Man to me looks good. Like I think I saw a handful of them this weekend, and they all look good to me. So I
don't think they really understand like when they talk about like higher quality sculpts. I think they want like dynamic sculpts, and it's like we don't need dynamic sculpts all the time. Like I like the simple sculpts. Absorbing Man.
I like a mixture of both. I'm not saying like dynamic sculpts are cool. I'm not saying they aren't. Like it's
no,
nice.
I'm not saying yeah, not at all. Though I do get what he's saying, especially if you do the 009. All the way to what is it? 010? Is that like the exact same sculpt? Speedball and Excavator is. Oh. And, yeah, and then you have Thunderball, Pile Driver, and Wrecker.
Yeah, I mean, at least those guys, it makes sense because they are fairly similar as far as their costumes and stuff.
Speedball and Excavator, it's kind of really weird because if you look at Speedball and then Excavator has the same like leopard prints on his mask. I don't know if the sculpt is the same, but
I've said this before. I'd rather have more pieces than less pieces. But yeah,
Yeah.
bigger issue people have is just they want to complain about sculpt reuse in general. But I don't know if it's ever been done better than this set.
I don't think it has, no.
No, I agree. I think this set is. I wasn't really looking forward to this set. Now that we've seen it, it is pretty incredible.
Yeah, I'm
I mean,
really happy with it.
I mean, they had me on the hook with certain things, but it was like the execution on the other end was really well done. So, and I mean, I love the way some of these things like work as far as flavor. So,
Now, I will say that I wouldn't mind if they do sets like this like once a year, but I think it might get old if every set does it, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was just done so well. I wouldn't mind it if like one set like this was a little bit bigger with all these different variations, even if there is some sculpt reuse.
I think it depends on the character, but absolutely. I mean, Absorbing Man lends himself to this type of thing.
Yeah, it would have to be the right set and not forced, which it does not feel forced in this set at all. It feels perfect.
Yeah.
His last question, very specific wrestling question. With Steph Vacker coming up the roster from NXT to Raw, how soon do you think we'll see Steph versus a Rhea match? I am only familiar with her name. I have not watched her at all. She just signed last year, though, right? Late last year.
Mm-hmm. She's been on record. Vakir has been on record saying that Rhea Ripley is actually a dream opponent in WrestleMania for her. If you watched like the 21st, I think, they're already starting to interact. They're both phenomenal. So I'm a fan of them wrestling each other and maybe even teaming up at some point.
Do you think that it would be too soon to see this at WrestleMania next year?
No, I don't. I think honestly that's probably what they're going to build towards.
Okay. All right. That's going to do it. Any final thoughts, Miles?
No, just except for please think about coming out here and getting wrecked. And who knows, you might even get a signed 8x10 by Hollywood Miles for Clix Camp.
Anything from you, Dan?
Really excited for Rock Cup. It's just and just H for H in general. This is my first time I'll be going and just being like around the event. So just I think it's a great event. It's going to be really well prized out. So if you can go, or just even the auction, I think is going to be awesome. They have a lot of other like good stuff up for purchase or auction on Auxit. So I think it's really great to be able to contribute to that, and it's a really good cause. So I really hope that we beat the number we had last year as far as like how much we raised as a community. So
yeah, I'm definitely gonna have FOMO as that's going on, but I'll be on the auction for sure. Pete, what about you?
Very exciting Clix time. The monthly, as always, is a blast. I'm already looking forward to next monthly. Smash and Destroy seems like a super great set. I'm a little happy for the breather. Hero Clicks for Huntington's is the charity event that I choose to participate in every year, and I know the community will show up big as it always has. And Dan, I hope you have a blast down there, and we get some more updates for the Dan line. And
it's the Dan
other
docket,
than that, the Dan docket. Sorry, wasn't sure what we finished on. Other than that, yeah, you guys have a great week. It's exciting time for Clix, and if Hollywood Miles is signing 8x10s, that's worth the price of a flight right there.
I'm super excited to open some Smash and Destroy cases this week. We'll have an unboxing out soon on YouTube, and then we'll do some live BRs. But yeah, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
And if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for ya!
Click it!
I'm solar. La 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 la, I'm solar.
That doesn't work for me, brother.